from Montreal, where Alouette fans could not be happier to see their starting QB return to action. The Owls have dropped their past 2 games, but are hoping Davis Alexander's return lifts them past the Argonauts, which would also put him in the CFL record books. Toronto, Montreal, coming up on TSN.
Davis Alexander is back, I'm back, and unlike me, when I played in Grey Cups, all he does is win, win, win. And with another win tonight, he'll tie Danny McManus for longest winning streak for a starting career at 8-0. The future's bright for that young man.
Bill, you know who else is back? Win McManus, and this Argos defense needed him. He's going to have to do what he calls great business if they want to get a win tonight in Montreal.
This is Austin Mack, but I'm going to talk about Milt. Hey, what are you talking? You come in on straight fire, on fuego, Milton. We've been holding it down, but you just came in and crushed the cam on the first go. Well done. Good to have you back. Let's go.
I have all these notes about DeMonte Coxie. I'm not even going to read them anymore after Milt came in with that. You're right, Jess. He wrote that like, oh, yeah. Currently 4th in receiving yards, pair of TDs. It doesn't really matter when Milt Stegall starts the show that way, does he? But this should be a fabulous game in Montreal. Speaking of fabulous, welcome inside Thursday Night Football on TSN. Kate Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez. And I know I speak for every single person here at TSN and every person across our country currently watching when I say, welcome back, Milt Stegall.
And it's great to be back. And just real quick, I just want to thank everyone for all the support, the tributes, the letters, the DMs, everything. Everyone really showed for me and my family. It definitely helped us out. At the service, Canada was well represented. Wade Miller, one of our bosses, Arden, one of my colleagues, former colleagues, Dave Randorf, and of course, you guys, the panel, you showed up. Also, Brenda Barnes. But that support, that love is really helping me and my family out. And like Chase would wanted me and everyone to do, now it's time to have some fun. So let's have some fun.
That's exactly what we're going to do. And look, you know that we're going to support you any way we possibly can. But I know when you came back, you didn't think we would physically support.
I didn't know we'd be this close.
We literally are on the closest panel.
I got to be close to the little brother I never wanted to.
Sorry about that. We'll see if we can make an adjustment moving forward. Milt, incredible to have you back as we now welcome in our Matthew Shinetti. And Matthew, you popped up on the TV already, and the first thing Milt says was, oh, I come back, and Matthew doesn't have to wear a shirt and tie anymore. So can you clear this up for one Milt Stegall, please?
First of all, Milt, I love you. And I've missed you, and I can't wait to give you a big hug, my friend. Second of all, the weather doesn't know what to do with itself in Montreal. I walked up here to Percival Molson Stadium. It was literally raining sheets, and I have been a drowned rat enough in this gig. I didn't want to do it, and I know this is the second week. I will bring my suit game back. I am telling you that, but I am going to be comfortable just in case the weather decides to ruin my night again. Now, speaking for the game, Tyson Philpott isn't playing. Jason Moss tells me he has a lower body injury. That is something, obviously, that might affect Davis Alexander because Alexander is back tonight. And one thing that everyone should know, this is an increased workload for Davis Alexander. Obviously, he played Justin Fitz in starts last year, but he told me this week that he's been training about 6-7 hours a day, and he had a hamstring issue back in the offseason. And, of course, that is the same hamstring issue that he's been dealing with over the last number of weeks. So let's see how he deals with that because he's already had one scare. He buckled in week 1. He went down, and everyone thought he had done something to his knee, but he's back up, he's fit, he's ready to go, and he's going to have to deal with Wynton McManus tonight because number 48 is back in the middle of the Argos defense, and he's a leader the Argos need now at 1-4 because it's been give and take on their roster all year, sprinkled in with a lot of rookies, and one of the guys they're missing tonight is Ryan Hunter, and I couldn't believe it when I heard it, but Ryan Hunter injured his shoulder riding a scooter, and he got hit by a car in downtown Toronto on his way to BMO Field to get get treated, to get a massage, actually, and could be out 6 to 8 weeks, and that's a big loss for the Argos. As for Chad Kelly, we're still waiting to see when he's going to come back, because he did practice this week, but only in fits and starts. He is splitting his time between Buffalo and Toronto, rehabbing that right leg. It is a strength issue right now. Pushing off, being able to evade in the pocket. Now, Kelly's been telling a lot of people for months that he thinks he's ready to go, but the Argos want to give him more time, which means the ball will still be in Nick Arbuckle's hands. And again, the Argos are 1-4. They're looking for a big win tonight. And if there's a stat you're going to look at that has some promise for the Argos tonight, they are 8-11 inside the score zone, but they have to get that run game going, and that's one thing Nick Arbuckle told this week he's very intent on, guys.
All right, we promise we will talk football at some point in time here, but Milt, you need some updates when it comes to the panel. So if we're having a good show, we're knocked in. Okay, you've probably heard that a few times. We're knocked in.
Okay.
And if you didn't see, and I know you did, you were supposed to race the cow in Calgary.
Yes.
Enoch raced the cow. He smoked the cow.
He got a 20-yard head start.
I don't make up the rules. I don't make up the rules. But here's the deal. Now the two of you are signed up to race at the Grey Cup.
Race who?
Each other.
I have to give him, what, like a 30, 40-yard head start?
If you're confident, you will.
Enoch is not going to race me head up. Are you serious?
Look at you.
Okay. Also, your best friend Davis Sanchez over here, he really has elevated his game. We're really proud of Chez. You've done an amazing job.
He's still down here.
He's still short, but that's okay. But here's the thing. He still is disorganized. You need to book his flights to Winnipeg for tomorrow, and you also need to pick him up to go to the airport.
Booked it.
No one booked your flight. We're going to Winnipeg tomorrow. And finally, football-related, Kenny Lawler, he's kind of inching close to your record here, Milton Stiegel.
He's getting there. He's getting there. It's not going to be easy, but the way he's playing, I wouldn't be surprised. And it would be a good thing. You know, Kenny Lawler's a special player. When he's healthy, if he remains healthy, I think he'll get it. He'll definitely lead the league in receiving yards. But if he stays healthy, I think he'll break my record. But then I'll come back out of retirement.
We know you're still a kid, so it doesn't even matter. All right, let's get to the game at hand, shall we? Because this show is totally knocked in. And Enoch, when it comes to the Toronto Argonauts, and we talked about this at the beginning of the season, their defense got absolutely decimated. But in years past, they have filled those holes, and it hasn't been an issue. It has been an issue, and the fact that they don't have Chad Kelly back in the mix, it has been a recipe for disaster to start this season.
Well, okay, without Chad Kelly, they score the least amount of touchdowns, 10 touchdowns. And on defense, they're giving up the third most amount of points, offensive points. And that is just a terrible recipe for a team right now that's trying to get on its feet right now. And so they got to figure out ways to get this engine revving, get this engine going. When you look at this team right now, you had the injuries with Chad Kelly. You had the injury with Wynn McManus, who's a pillar on that defense. But now when you look at it, the bright spot is Andrew Chatfield. He's leading the league in sacks, and he's doing a tremendous job right now. If I'm a defensive coordinator, if I'm on that defense, I want to get ways to highlight him, isolate him. So if you have to put 5 down linemen right now, you do it, and you let him rush, because he's going to allow the defense to get some turnovers.
Yeah, we've talked about the negative and the struggles with this Argo team. The answer or the question, I guess, is what do they do? And I think to your point, their playmakers got to make plays. So and that's easily said than done. Playmakers got to make plays, but to your point, get him one-on-one pass rushes. Chatfield, look at Janarian Grant. Find ways to get Janarian Grant going, whether it's on offense, the return game, make it a priority. Look, it's very simple, but in football, if I'm looking at this matchup right now, I know for a fact that they have Davis Alexander, Montreal have an advantage defensively, and then, of course, Davis and their offense. They guys lost the game in 8 games, 9 games, whatever they are. Right. So there's an advantage. The only way to somewhat, close that margin is to make plays either special teams or turnovers. That's the only way to make a difference.
I'm concerned for this team. After last year when they lost all those top players, Ryan Dinwiddie and that team was able to bounce back and win a Grey Cup. I don't know if that happens this year. Will they be able to remain consistent and win some games? It's going to be difficult because they've lost a lot. And the games they've lost this year, it's not the way that they've lost them, but it's the way they've lost them. They've lost by an average of 12 points. They're not even close. The closest they've been is 7 points, and that's not really that close in professional football. So they have to find a way to get things going, because otherwise it's going to be too late. And I think Ryan Dinwiddie is a fantastic coach, but I know he's stressing out right now because he's concerned with the way this team is looking.
To your point, Mill, Ryan Dinwiddie's a great coach and offensive coordinator. What I've seen in the past is his creativity that I don't feel like I've seen right now. He usually has some reverses and different things on offense that I don't feel like I've seen.
Does he have the weapons to do that?
I was going to say, it's not like he has the personnel.
Does he have the weapons to do it?
I mean, he's got a lot of receivers back, right? So I just haven't
As
seen
I
it yet.
say again, does he have the weapons to do it?
I think he still has them.
Okay, all right.
Is it enough with Linton back tonight, quickly?
He needs to start things up, and he's got to be the engine that gets this thing going.
Yeah, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
It
That
is.
might give that whole
Yeah.
defense a boost, and we'll see if it is enough for the Toronto Argonauts tonight. As you know, Matthew Shinetti, he said that the weather's been a little inclement on and off today in Montreal. It seems to be fantastic for a little Thursday night football. Dave Naylor stopping by with the Made in Canada Award. That's next. Davis Alexander, he is now in some elite company. He is 7-0 to start his career.
Throwing again. Caught! 5! Touchdown! Wow, Alexander. Alexander looks over the top to Charleston. Rambo! Touchdown, Alouettes! Stays on his feet along the sideline to the end zone. Alexander does it himself.
The record to start a CFL career is 8-0. Now Davis Alexander has a glorious shot at that. I can't believe we really haven't mentioned this much. We are going to Winnipeg tomorrow.
What?
Oh, man.
Okay, Willie J, come on down.
And look at this matchup, too. I mean, we decided this before the season began, but my goodness, the Stampeders and the Blue Bombers, let's do it on Friday Night Football. And then, of course, on Saturday, it's the Riders taking on the Lions, another tremendous game. And then it ends in the East with the Tiger Cats taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Guess who's back? My man Milt Stegall back for another edition of Head to Head.
Head to Head.
First one of the year. Good to see you, my man.
Good to be back. Good to be
All right.
back.
Tyson Philpott, they just announced Tyson Philpott will not play. You like the over for Davis Alexander. I will give you a chance to change that if you'd like.
No Tyson
still going
Philpott. Yes, they're going to miss him, but return of the Mac. Austin Mack is back. But even more so than that, this Toronto Argonaut defense has not played well. Time of possession, they're on the field just too much. They get tired. And also explosive plays, 30-yard passing plays. They give up the most out of any team in the league. So Davis Alexander is going to have a great opportunity to throw for 268.5 yards. He's going to go over that. So it won't be much of a task for him to do it.
Okay, let me ask you this. The hamstring injury, because that's the reason I like the under. He has a hamstring injury. It's been, this rumors is from the offseason, still lingering. I think that has an impact on his ability to extend plays, make plays. Does that not worry you at all?
No, not at all. He's not a running back. He's not a receiver. He's a quarterback. He's going to drop back and throw the ball, and he has some great weapons to throw it to against a defense that is really struggling.
You're kind of convincing me, but not enough. I'm still going under. Milt's going over. This the head-to-head.
Sticking with Davis Alexander right now, and as I mentioned off the top, history on the line for the Alouettes QB. If he wins tonight, it would mean he would tie Danny McManus for most wins to start a CFL career at 8-0. Alongside our CFL insider, Dave Naylor. And Dave, but you've been working on a very cool project over the last few weeks, and you're going to be awarding the Made in Canada football in just a moment. But first, we take a deep dive into where CFL players come. And I was a little shocked with this report when it comes to the States.
Yeah, we looked at it on both the U.S. and Canada in terms of which programs, which conferences produce the most players. And when it comes to American players, I think there's been a sense that the CFL is trending to more of a small conference, small school league. That is not really reflected in the data. In fact, when we looked at all CFL American players, about 70% of them come from the FBS Division I level. Those are bowl-eligible schools. And the Power 4 conferences, the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, and the ACC, are the biggest representation of CFL players at 37.3%. In fact, there are only 25 American players in the CFL that played either Division II, Division III, or NAIA football. So this is still a league that draws most of its talent from the biggest conferences. Interesting, we wanted to see which school produced the most players on CFL opening rosters from American schools. We had a 5-way tie. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Memphis.
Correct.
North Dakota.
Yep.
Oregon.
Yep.
Houston and Wake Forest. Those
Nailed
are
it.
the 5 schools that each had 5. If you want a tiebreaker, Memphis had somebody on a practice roster. So
that kind of counts.
They kind of count. We counted main roster and injured list, but we'll give Memphis the nudge.
Let's go over to the
roster.
Canadian schools, too. And I remember, again, before I read this, I thought Laval was going to be #1, but they were not.
No, the #1 school, the Made in Canada Award, or maybe we should call it the Fait en Canada Award,
Oh,
goes to The University of Montreal, 14 players on the opening week of CFL rosters. An interesting number 2 was Laval. So you look at Laval and Montreal, 26 players combined in the CFL. Montreal program didn't exist, 25 years ago? Laval's didn't exist 30 years ago. So we see the major development in the last quarter century of football development in Canada coming out of Francophone Quebec. And then overall, you see Ontario with the most programs, the most players represented, 38.2%. Bit surprising, some of the schools we didn't find in the top 5. Western, not in the top 5. McMaster, not in the top 5. And Manitoba, not in the top 5. Those have all been programs that I think over the last 10, 15 years have put a lot of players into the CFL. But this is something we hope we can do annually and kind of track the trends. And, well, maybe
we'll be sending that to Montreal, correct?
For their trophy case to the University of Montreal. We'll make this an annual thing.
And you know what, too? And maybe if you're one of those schools who didn't make the top 5, then you know what? It'll work a little harder to have the CFLers in the future, and then you get the football. In the meantime, when it comes to the University of Montreal, there are some huge names in the CFL. And it starts with Marc-Antoine Ducroix. The Alouette safety has been a fixture on this great Alouettes defense. He's been an CFL All-Star the last 2 seasons. He has 138 tackles, 11 interceptions in his career. Perhaps one of the finest was against the Argonauts in the Eastern Final, a pick 6 against the Argos on his way to becoming a Grey Cup champion. Teammate Sean Thomas Erlington, his journey started in Hamilton, where he made some incredible plays in his 6 years. Now Erlington has emerged as the starting running back in Montreal, his hometown, where he is the 4th in league in rushing with 246 yards. And in Winnipeg, it is Retta Cramdy. He's been a huge part of the vaunted Winnipeg defense the last couple of years. He had his breakout year last year for Winnipeg with 59 tackles, 2 sacks, and continues to be a presence as a linebacker and a special teams player. And Dave, these just aren't small names in the CFL. As I said off the top, I mean, these are stars. Yeah, these are impact players. And a lot of people ask me when I said the University of Montreal had the most players, people said, well, how many of them are Alouettes? Because of course, Danny Michocha ran that program, and now he's the GM in Montreal. The answer is 5. So there is still lots of other teams around the CFL that are interested in University of Montreal players. One other thing I'll add, looking at the percentage of Canadians that come out of U Sport versus the NCAA, it's about 30% that come out of the NCAA, about 70% that come out of U Sport. So, you know, more than 2/3 of the Canadians in the league are coming out of the U Sport program. And hopefully we just continue to see that number grow. Now, keeping with the theme, here is Matthew Shinetti standing by with Sean Thomas Erlington.
STE, first of all, what does it mean to you that you're now playing your professional ball at the place that really were your formative years in university? What has that time at University of Montreal meant to you, and what has it meant now that you're playing here in your career?
Oh, it's huge. I'm so excited, grateful to be playing in my hometown. You know, having played at University of Montreal and then coming back here after a lot of years in Hamilton. No, it feels amazing, and honestly, just very grateful, very grateful.
And to see your role expand this year, you're a premier back in a way that we haven't seen in your career consistently. What has Jason Maas been telling you, and what are the things that you hope that you impose tonight against the Argos?
I think it's all about trust. I think started from last year, I gained trust really fast with Coach Maas, and I think we have this good chemistry where we talk to one another, even though he's the head coach. I think we have a good conversation, and we talked at the end of the year last year. He said he wanted to give me the ball a little bit more the following year, and I guess I'm getting a lot more than I thought I would.
See you more tonight. Thanks to STE. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, Tyrese Beverette, a huge problem for the Argos in the opening week, and this defense overall was just fantastic. Not allowing first down until the final minute of the first quarter, not a touchdown until the 4th. Let's see what they have in store tonight. The Owls D, the best in the league, hot or not?
Hot.
Intercepted, taken away by who else? It's Beverette to seal the deal. Jump ball, Wesley Sutton. Another defensive touchdown for the Montreal Alouettes.
Leading the league in creating turnovers and leading the league in shutting down the run.
They look like they're in fine form off to a flying start here in 2025.
In Montreal tonight, and these fans obviously hoping the party continues, and their team snaps a 2-game slide. Look at the adorable baby. The Argos hoping for the same thing as they look for win number 2 on the season. Once again, Matthew Shinetti standing by with Kevin Mattel.
Beyond the game, Kevin, what is it like playing in Montreal for you? You grew up not too far from here in Longueuil. You went to school here. What does it mean to play in this city on nights like this?
I mean, it's always special. I needed 45 tickets for the game. I got friends, family, cousins. All the family's there, so it's always special.
In terms of what you're doing for the Argos right now, how have you liked how your role really has evolved? The one thing that Ryan Dinwiddie said, he called you a Swiss Army knife. Nick Arbuckle compared you to Nick Dembski. You're still earlier in your career. What are the things you're working on?
I'm working on everything. Every day I'm trying to get better. Nick Dembski is. I'm way too far from him right now, but yeah, I'm trying to do everything in the box, trying to help us support the run, catches, yak after the catch. So I'm trying to do it all.
How have you found that leading into this week after the bye, how bad does this team want that win today?
Oh, we want that, especially against Montreal. It's a big rivalry. It's in the East. We're in Montreal. It's a special night. So looking forward to win that one.
Good luck.
Thank you. Go Argos.
Yeah, we need to do more interviews with him. Seriously. Oh, well thought out. I quite like that.
Future.
And you know what, too? I love what he's saying, too. I mean, he was saying about playing in Montreal and all his family and friends, too. But Davis Alexander had an interesting quote. He's like, I'd be lying if this one wasn't a little different. It's Toronto. It's a divisional rival. We don't like them. They don't like us. And you can tell, too. And this has kind of been brought up in the postseason. You know this all too well, Enoch. But when it comes to this Montreal defense, and we said this at the beginning of the season for Davis Alexander, one of the benefits that he has is having that defense as well, and knowing that that support on the other side of the ball is so tremendous.
Well, it's no secret they've had a strong defense the last few years, and one of the main reasons is the fact that they have players that are interchangeable. You got Kenton Arku, Vaughns, and Berglund, who are defensive linemen that pose as linebackers a lot of the time. That causes a lot of problems for a lot of offenses. And then you got Sankey and Beverett, who can rush the passer as well. But if you really want to beat this defense, you have to be able to take advantage when the guys are out of position. When you got the defensive linemen dropping, that is exactly when you want to start to take advantage of it. If you look at their team, what they do is they rush their offense. They rush any offense that comes to play against them. They want the quarterbacks to let go of the ball quickly. You want to find ways like BC did this game to find numbers. They have 4 here against 3 guys, including the defender that's going to drop over there, get the ball out of his hands. That defensive line rushes so fast. You see how fast Sean Oakman was to the quarterback. But this is a virtual running play. Now you go here. You got Nathan Vort. He gets the ball, and he's going to roll right out the pocket, buy some time, and you got defensive linemen in coverage right there. Not the greatest when it comes to spatial awareness. It finds a hole, gets a receiver wide open. Now in the 4th quarter, this last play, you're in the 4th quarter, you need a play, you need a first down. You got the defensive linemen in position, you got the linebackers in position, in their right positions. And the ball, and the same play that the BC Lions called, to get out the pocket again, but you got a guy in Beverett who's in coverage and makes a play. You want to take advantage of this defense when they got the defensive linemen in coverage or the linebackers rushing the quarterback. But it's easier said than done because it's tricky to figure it out.
Yeah, you talked about getting the ball out fast. They simulate pressure. You hear about simulated pressures all the time. That's what they're doing. They're simulating pressure. There might only be 4 coming. It's just where they're coming from. And again, the way to attack that, you can run at them. But one of the things you see is guys like Berglund, guys you mentioned, Beverett, guys in different spots doing different things makes it difficult.
What year is this for you, Enoch?
Stop playing 2.
This is
2 years out.
You can't be 2 years in and take up all the time like that on the head.
I was just going to say.
Man, you didn't leave us any time. That's only your 2nd year. Like,
you got 15
I just got back. Enoch didn't leave us any time.
I blame my...
Sorry, Davis Alexander. I was going to talk about you, but Enoch didn't leave me any time.
No, it wasn't.
No, would you like to say anything?
I don't have any time.
You don't have any time. You can't say anything if you wanted to.
Right,
Welcome back.
Put that on the Knox list.
Yeah, you know what? The show is not knocked in anymore. We are knocked out. Kicks off from Montreal, where Alouette fans could not be happier to see their starting QB return to action. The Els have dropped their past 2 games, but are hoping that Davis Alexander's return lifts them past the Argonauts and also put him into the CFL record books. Toronto, Montreal, coming up.
That's the franchise guy right there. No doubt about it. They have like what they've seen from their quarterback. 7 straight wins going back to last year. Davis Alexander back in the lineup for this high-powered Alouettes offense.
Every Batman needs a Robin. Austin Mack is back, and he's got to beat Davis's best friend tonight. You want to have a chance to pull it off tonight.
Talking about best friends, how about Enoch's best friend, Wynton McManus? That's not Wynton right there. Sorry about that. Saw somebody with dreads, they thought it was Wynton. But Wynton McManus, a sight to sore eyes. His defense has really struggled, and they need him to make some plays if they want to have an opportunity to win this game.
Can you believe they did that in your first show back?
First show. Thanks a lot, Jamie, producer.
But it was
Thank you.
perfect, wasn't it? Back alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, and thrilled to have the one and only Milt Stegall back. Milt, because Enoch took all the time of your last segment.
Thank you.
We are now going to start with you. You know what? We're going to roll this way on the panel this time.
I'm not going to leave me any time either. But my matchup is actually the coaches. Not the head coaches, but the OC head coach, Ryan Dinwiddie, versus Noel Thorpe, the defensive coordinator for Montreal Alouettes. Ryan has to get creative with this offense. They haven't been able to produce much, and it's going to be difficult when you're going against Noel Thorpe, maybe one of the best defensive coordinators this league has ever seen. So that's the matchup I'm looking at.
Mine is special teams. Toronto's got to find a way. They cannot win this game. They will not win this game if they don't win the turnover battle or score on special teams. They got to find a way to make a difference on teams.
There's not going to be any surprises. The Montreal Alouettes are going to bring pressure. That defensive line against that offensive line is going to be the sight to see right now. And if the offensive line can protect for Nick, they might have a chance.
I'm going to tell you, there's 3 of you now. I never expect to have 40 seconds left in my ear, but here we are. Davis, I got to admit to you, though, this is the biggest spread of the week. Does this come as a surprise? Obviously, these 2 teams go in opposite directions.
It was a shock. It's actually ticking down. It was a 10.5. Now it's moved down under 10. So I think other people as well. Remember, we always say this is pro football. You know, 10.5 points are really big
especially
line.
in the CFL.
Yeah, that's not a lot of respect.
Why didn't you ask me about betting, Kate?
No, you don't even know what betting is. I don't think you've ever opened a betting app in your life, Drew.
Yes, he has. I forced him to look at mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you check out his?
If I want to be around him, I have no choice. So.
Well, that's nice. That's nice.
I make him run hills, and he makes me look at the bet.
It's a perfect friendship. It really is. What do we do?
Shut up, FanDuel.
We got to figure something out, okay?
Let's go run.
No.
Okay.
Go. All in. With every heartbeat, every play, my focus is to get the win. All in. Yeah, moving steady. Here to win. Ready. All in. All in. All in. All in.
Thank you, Kate, and welcome back, Milt. It's great to see you, buddy. Week 7 begins with Thursday Night Football here in Montreal, the second of 3 meetings this season between the Argos and the Alouettes. Toronto lost that first matchup of the year and has just 1 win since. Montreal's dropped back-to-back, but they're welcoming back their quarterback.
Yes, they are, and we want to welcome back Milt. Of course, on a personal level, you know, Milt, that the entire crew has your back. On a professional level, great to have one of the best analysts in North America back on the panel. Yes, you do have Davis Alexander from Montreal back in the lineup. He is 7-0 in his career as a starter. That's messing with record-breaking type numbers to start his CFL career. 8-0 held by Danny McManus is the record. They get him back off the hamstring injury. Chad Kelly is not quite ready for the Argos, so it will be Nick Arbuckle. He ranks 3rd in the league in passing yards, but is just 1-4, 2-4 versus the Montreal Alouettes.
Just 1 win this season for Ryan Dinwiddie. Good news was it was on the road, and it was against Ottawa. He's 8-4 versus Montreal in his career. Jason Moss's team started 3-0, but have lost their last 2, 5-1 in their last 6 coming off a bye week. Toronto's won 8 in a row coming off a bye week. Both of these teams coming off a bye week. Something's got to give, and we are underway in Montreal. A high short kick, Janarian Grant far sideline, and he'll take it out just beyond the 40, and that's where we will get our first look at Nick Arbuckle.
So I mentioned 1-4 this year and 2-4 against Montreal. That's the bad news for Argo fans. The good news is Nick Arbuckle is tied with Vernon Adams on the explosive plays down the field, over 30 yards. He's got a good receiving core that he can get the football to. They are big-time underdogs in this game and should be, but Nick Arbuckle, don't rule him out. All you have to do is think back to the Grey Cup last year.
Kind of a good game.
on their own 42. Fakes the handoff, turns. Now dumps it back towards his running back, Mac Mahan, who returns to the lineup. And that goes incomplete. Let's take a look at this Toronto offense.
Adam Dankwa is playing for Ryan Hunter. More on that as the game goes on. He's playing at that right tackle position. And the backs and receivers, they do get Deontay McMahon back at running back. And boy, do the Argos need a run game to help with a little balance in their offense, help Arbuckle out.
Dead last in the league, just 46 yards per game on the ground, and they're going up against the best rushing defense in the league. Arbuckle throwing here, though. From the pocket, in trouble, throws it away before he is taken down. Uglewalk forcing Arbuckle to move it quickly.
There is no infraction for intentional grounding. Toronto number 10 was there. Incomplete pass.
Mital was close enough to Arbuckle. It was behind the line of scrimmage, so he was close enough to Arbuckle that there will be no intentional grounding.
Haggerty called into duty for the first time this evening. Cloud cover here in Montreal. A couple of downpours earlier in the day, and we are sweaty in the booth. Now this is hammered away. Letcher takes it cleanly at the 26. Picks his way back just short of the 35. And that's where we finally get to see Davis Alexander return to the lineup for the Alouettes.
Yeah, when he left, they were 3-0, 75% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, just the 2 interceptions, and without him, have lost 2 straight. So Montreal and their fans real happy to get their starter back. Now it's a hamstring injury, and they can be a little bit tricky. We'll see about his mobility early in this one.
Just 18.5 points per game without him. When he's in the lineup, they average 35. Huge difference. On the run to his right, has a completion on the far side of the field, and that is into the hands of Tyler Sneed to get Montreal started.
Yeah, nice little play action, easy half rollout for Davis Alexander just to get started. Little rollout to the right. He's got receiver open in the flat after the play action. Nice way to get started.
15 yards to Tyler Sneed. Already 300 yards on the season coming in this one for Sneed. He's caught 81% of the passes thrown in his direction. Extra protection on the line. And a flag flies beyond the secondary on the handoff to Sean Thomas Erlington.
Well, you may have picked up, if you have your volume up loud, you may...
Violation, trop tard remettre le ballon en jeu. Montreal number 10. 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Premier repris.
Well, and the reason for that is that Davis Alexander at the line of scrimmage said, kill, kill, kill. That means he's killing the play that was called in the huddle and calling one right on the line of scrimmage.
Reset the game clock to read.
But they're making an adjustment to the clock.
Threw a couple seconds on it, I believe. First and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. Alexander looking for his running back again. And that one thrown short at the feet of Erlington.
Justin Lawrence will be the guy who's got to call out the blitzes up front, make sure everyone up front is blocking where they should be blocking. Pierre-Olivier Lestage will talk about what happened in their last game as this game goes on. They do get Austin Mack back in the lineup. That's a true deep threat for Davis Alexander.
They have to look in his direction here on a 2nd and 15. 3 options out to his wide side left. Quickly to the right. High ball, but it's hauled in and held on to. Won't be enough for a first down, but they get Charleston Rambo involved. His 13th catch of the year.
Also, on the receiving corps, you might have heard it in the pregame show, Tyson Philpott is a late scratch in this game tonight. So Daniel Oladejo will play. He's former Ottawa Red Black. He gets to dress tonight, got the call an hour before kickoff. And there's Philpott in street clothes. So questionable coming in this week. Couldn't go after warm-up.
Grant and Ungerer await this kick. Zima stands on his own 40, a chance to pin the Argos deep early in this game. Oh, hang up there. Towering kick. And Janarian Grant watches it as it flies out of bounds, and they will mark this at the 12. Arbuckle will get his second crack at it here tonight when we return to Montreal. The one-win Argos looking to pull off a bit of an upset. Well, maybe the most important thing in football, Suits, is to look after the ball, and one of these teams certainly does. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, that's a very telling stat line right there, especially the takeaways. Montreal leads the league with 13. They're tied, and but they're in ninth as the Argos. So that's the difference, and that's what has to change for Ryan Dinwiddie's group.
Argos, they'll hand it off. McMahon cuts it back. Had some lead blockers helping him pick up a few yards on first down.
Isaac Adiemi-Berglund leads their team with 3 sacks so far on the season. In the linebacking core, Najee Murray will move from the halfback spot down into that linebacking core, be the cover linebacker. And back in the secondary, the leader is Kevion Ento, is the leader in interceptions. I'm feeling that Marc-Antoine Dequoy is due.
That is your pregame prediction.
He's due for something tonight.
On the ground again. First down. McMahon takes it out beyond the 25. And boy, if they can establish the run early in this game, that could go a long way. That one's good for 6.
Well, they've got to. I mean, there's just no question about it. McMahon back in the lineup. They've gone through a couple of guys now. And I would even say and suggest that the Argos may miss Kadeem Carey at this point in the season without a run game. I mean, they rank dead last rushing the football.
Receivers out to the left for Arbuckle. That's where he looks. Mital takes it, spins away from a tackler, and pushes it ahead. Got about half of what they needed through the air on that time.
So here's Toronto's run game, and it has just been non-existent at 46.2 rushing yards per game. That's dead last by a long shot. It's not close. Against the Montreal defense, ranked number 1 against the run. So it's going to be a tall order. But 2nd and 5 for Nick Arbuckle, where he can manage the game and then make those big plays as it evolves, is going to be crucially important.
Certainly would make things a little bit easier for Arbuckle. He wants to throw here. Bouncing around the pocket. He's got a man. It's Ungerer. And that's going to be a first down for Toronto as they give themselves some breathing room on a drive that started at the 12.
Yeah, case in point, that if it's 2nd and 10, not 2nd and 5, that crossing route was the only open receiver for Arbuckle. You saw him go through his reads, and that's just a 6-yard gain. Because they had success on first down running it, get a new set.
Argos offensively, 6th in the league at 25.6 points per game. Coming into the week, up to their own 37 here. McMahon clears out in the flat to the left of Arbuckle. They come back around to the right side. Mital has his second catch of the ball game, but it doesn't go anywhere.
A lot of what Montreal does defensively, and it can get complicated, I'm going to oversimplify, is they're going to see Darnell Sankey's in here, and they'll drop out defensive linemen. They'll show blitz. And that's why the run game is so important. You see Adiemi-Berglund, number 91, dropping out of there. He's a defensive end. And if you can catch them in those show looks, dropping defensive linemen, you can get your run game going against this defense.
No gain on that pass to Mital. 2nd and 10 for Arbuckle. 4-man rush from the Alouettes. Climbs the pocket, dumps it off. McMahon gets some opportunity on the right side. And I thought Mittal was going to come down and block for him, but he didn't need it. He's got a first down, 16 yards.
Yeah, you're going to see show blitz again. Marc-Antoine Dequoy is in there looking like he's coming on a safety blitz. And once again, it's a show blitz. Antoine Dequoy drops out of there, as does Darnell Sankey. You're just never sure which 3 or 4 or 5 pass rushers are going to be after quarterback and which are going to drop. But McMahon gets the edge on that show blitz.
30 total yards of offense already in this game from McMahon. Kalen Laybourne in the game now. They'll get it to Mittal. Turns it. Crosses midfield before he's gang tackled. But obviously getting Mittal heavily involved in the game here early.
Yeah, you've done a couple Argo games, so have I. This is the first time I've seen a play like this where it's just almost a tip underneath. That would, I guess, be considered a forward pass to Mittal. What an outstanding athlete Kevin Mittal is. I think we're just scratching the surface on this young man.
5th overall pick in the 2024 draft. Arbuckle was 0 for 2 on the first possession. He's 5 for 5 on this drive. Laybourne remains in the game at running back. Arbuckle takes off, has a ton of room. He's got a first down and a slide close to the 40.
So Laybourne is the running back on this play, and he's going to go out of the backfield quickly and watch who covers him. Darnell Sankey's going right to him. That means that Arbuckle knows there's no middle linebacker. If he can find a running lane, doesn't like what he sees in the first throw, finds a running lane, and away he goes. No middle linebacker because Darnell Sankey was out there in coverage.
Now for a team that averages less than 50 yards on the ground per game, they've got 25 already in this one. 6 on the line for the Argos here. Arbuckle in trouble, sidesteps an attacker, and misses on the near side. It was in the direction of Janarian Grant.
Talking about Kevin Mittal, Laval back home, playing in front of, what was it in the pregame? About 35 family and friends.
That's a good chunk of tickets.
Had to get tickets for over 100 yards last week. 8 catches versus Hamilton for 104 to be exact. And like I said, I think he's just getting started. He's understanding the nuances of the game. What his offense is leaning on him a lot more. And he's become a very reliable receiver.
That's their only 100-yard game of the season for a receiver. 3-man, Arbuckle gets it away. And on the near sideline, Mittal hauls that in. Kennedy was on his back, but Tenon White comes away with it. 4-yard pickup.
Bit of a sidearm throw from Nick Arbuckle because of the pressure. Had to throw around that pressure. Eddie Berglund has a free lane to him, so he bails quickly. It looked like Robert Kennedy may cut underneath that. He's playing at that halfback spot for Najee Murray, who's moved up into the box. Strong hands by Mittal to bring it in. And
it'll be 3rd and 6.
Field goal opportunity, though, because of that catch. Without it, they're out of range.
45-yarder, Aralahu for the first points of the evening here in Montreal. That kick is up, and that is straight down the middle. And a drive that started on the Toronto 12 ends in points. Davis Alexander. More on him when we return to Montreal. Davis Alexander back at the helm of this Montreal offense. Already in some pretty good company there, isn't he?
Yeah, if he gets to 8-0, he ties Danny McManus. Now, okay, so Bo Levi Mitchell and Davis Alexander are still playing. Who do you pick in your fantasy? You get one pick.
Yeah, easy answer, man. Damon Allen. Rushing yards. You get rushing yards in fantasy. Oh. It's a cheat code. Damon Allen would have been the first pick for 10 straight years. Alexander, Rambo, first down and a little bit more. 13 on the play for Rambo.
Well, I've been watching Davis Alexander real closely because a hamstring can be a tricky injury. It's still in your mind even when you're healthy again, and the health, you've been cleared by the medical staff that the hamstring is solid and intact. And you see he moves outside, gets that lead shoulder around, really good at throwing from rolling out on his left side.
Travis Tice in the game at running back, stands to the left of Alexander. Rambo again, and that's a hot shot that he gets underneath at the Toronto 50.
Andrew Chatfield has been a story this year. Rookie out of Eastern Washington, played one game in Ottawa and then was traded by the Argos. More on that as the game goes on. They get their leader back in the middle in Winton McManus. That's going to make a huge difference, especially against the run. And I don't know, I just have a feeling about the safeties tonight. Derek Sluka has made some big plays, and they need some big plays out of that back end.
That's a quick hitter, near side. Speaker for the first time today. Very close to a first down, and they do have it. This is a nice response here from Montreal after a 7-minute drive for the Argos. Big drive from Toronto, just over 7 minutes, and now Davis Alexander looking to respond.
And about 5 yards from comfortable field goal range at the very least.
Jose Maltos, long on the year, is 50s, connecting at just under 89%. Pressure from Toronto. Alexander found his fullback.
Oh, man, I just watched Davis Alexander after the throw kneel down on one knee right after the throw, and I went, oh, no, oh, no. And then he went and tied his shoe.
So that's okay. That's okay.
Well, we're looking from the booth now. Watch, here he goes, and then he watches this, and then he goes down, and I thought, uh-oh. And then, no, it was just got to get my shoe tied. There we go.
No reason to panic. Alexander, near side. Big hit on Speaker. Looks like McFadden got the worst of that. 7-yard pickup. Bring up third down, likely field goal attempt.
Well, Speaker got the ball just in time to turn around and be able to absorb this hit and actually, become the nail or become the hammer a little bit here. See how he gets a chance to turn and then lower the shoulder. Hopefully McFadden is okay. It's one of those stingers where...
As they look at McFadden, we'll step away. And Montreal is going to go for it. They are inside field goal range, but Davis Alexander is going to look to pick up the first down here and keep this drive alive. Looks to his left, throws to his left. Speaker wide open. First down, Montreal inside the 30.
I'm surprised in a 3rd and 3 gamble like that the Argos went with a zone defense. And it looked like they may be trying to get the call and maybe weren't sure what defense to play because there's some gaps in that zone, and Davis Alexander is going to find it. I think in a 3rd and 3, you get up right in the face, play press coverage all the way across the line of scrimmage, and don't give any freebies up.
First 9 plays of the game from scrimmage from Montreal have been passes. They have yet to run the ball. Tice is in there at running back now. Alexander on the roll to his right. Thought about an end zone shot. Dumps it off. Incomplete at the feet of Cole Speaker.
John Edward played that very well, playing in there for McFadden. He has to go out for at least 3 plays. This is the second one, and it'll be to the right of your screen. As he rolls out here, 31 is going to take the flat route and then drop off deep, and that indecision by Davis Alexander was caused by John Edward.
Montreal from the Toronto 29. Argos send 5. Alexander hit as he throws. And And that is incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Rambo. That's his 4th target of the ball game. But now they will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and there's some boxes that you have to check if you're coming back off injury, really in any position, but certainly quarterback. And one of them is that first hit. So Alexander takes his first hit. Seen him rolling out a couple of times. Haven't seen him take off and run with the football in a big way. Just those little rollouts.
37-yard attempt for Maltos to tie this game at 3 late in the first. That's exactly what he will do. That flex on here on a Thursday night in Montreal. We're tied at 3. 8 of 11 in his return so far. For more on Davis Alexander, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Glenn, I was watching in that last series when Davis Alexander went down to check his shoes, just as you were, because he's been dealing with this hamstring issue for months as he was training in the offseason. But competition is who Davis Alexander is. Not only tonight is he looking at 7-0 and potentially looking to tie Danny McManus for the best start a QB has had in the CFL. But when we asked him this week, other records that he's holding right now, he had no problem telling us that right now he's on a 68-0 winning streak in pickleball in the Als locker room. The last guy to beat him was Cody Fajardo, but the one he said he was really proud of is a real good relationship with Tyler Snead. He's on a 25-game heater in NHL 25 that he's carrying against his friend in the offense. This guy, as Jason Moss says, just likes to win, guys.
So confirmed, Tyler Snead sucks at NHL 25.
Okay, wait, no.
How do you lose that many?
Hold on just 1 second. Tyler Snead is a receiver. You think he's going to beat his quarterback down?
So he's letting him win.
All I'm saying is maybe you don't back check
Wow.
in NHL all that hard when it's your quarterback and you.
First down, s'inverse de pénalité, premier.
And you know, you lose 25, but maybe you get the ball a little more in practice, and then it translates into a couple catches in the game, and away you go.
Folding in video games for targets. Unbelievable. First and 15 for Arbuckle. 3 out to his right. That's where he goes. He's got Brissett. It'll only be a short pickup. Give him about 8 when it's all said and done. And that'll do it for the opening quarter. Here in Montreal, we are tied at 3 in the second of 3 meetings between these two Eastern rivals. Welcome back to Thursday Night Football. Alouettes and Argos tied at 3. Pretty even there, but you notice no rushing yards for Montreal. That's because they did not attempt a rush so far in this game. It's been all Davis Alexander throwing the ball so far. What have you thought of him?
Well, I think he's cautious. I think he's being cautious with that hamstring. And I mentioned off the top of the show that a hamstring can be tricky. It's something that's in your mind. Even if you feel healthy and strong, it's still there. You're just a little reluctant to push off and try to redirect full speed. And it looks like he's been a bit cautious. It really hasn't affected his accuracy or anything like that. But whether you're Montreal or the Argos, as we mentioned in the first quarter, a little balance in the offense is going to help him, and that's where Sean Thomas Erlington needs to see a couple of touches.
Second quarter begins with a 2nd and 7 for Toronto on their own 43. 3 on the line for the Alouettes defense. That's all they send. Arbuckle taking a peek, dumps it off. McMahon is running back, and he'll be stopped about a yard shy of a first down.
So the team that is last in the league coming into this game, under 50 yards. Now, McMahon only had 2 carries in the first quarter, but that's the type of way you can get him the ball. It's going to go down as a completion, be a reception, but still important with that tailback, especially when they're showing blitz and dropping defensive linemen or linebackers in Darnell Sankey, the Montreal defense.
3rd and 1. And now it'll be pushed ahead
ratio we talked about early. Maybe trying to get some help from the replay center in real time.
Well, I'm curious if they got up to the 50, which is what they needed for the first down. I don't think we had a official spot there either, but the ball is sitting on the 50. Here we go.
The ball carrier forward progress was stopped before he fumbled the football. La progression du porteur de ballon était arrêtée avant qu'il ne perde le ballon. On va mesurer. We'll measure.
Now you just have to see, to your point, Dustin, is whether or not Mital got enough for the first down, but they're saying that his forward progress was not only stopped, he was going backwards when he lost that ball. Now, officially, you don't have to hear a whistle to stop the play. If the officials feel like it was stopped and then a few seconds later blow their whistle, they can rule as they did in this play.
Could still end up being a turnover here as they set the chains for a first half measurement. And it is enough for a first down. That was close. Montreal fans not happy, but Mital got it done.
Boy, Davis Alexander wanted that ball in midfield. he had his gear on. He was ready to get out there.
Almost had it. Mital pushed backwards, forward progress, stalling before the ball was stripped out. Had just enough, about half a ball and up. And Toronto, a bit adventurous, but they stay on the field. Brissett near side, got a block, finds midfield before eventually being stopped by Ento and Kennedy.
Yeah, I think one of the questions for Ryan Dinwiddie with this offense is, can he be patient on first down like he's been in this game? Those little hitch screens outside, getting Deontay McMahon involved, a little bit of running game mixed in. Right now, the Montreal defense is bailing. I mean, they're basically lining up at the line of scrimmage, and then they're dropping and sending maybe 3, sometimes 4. So getting one of your playmakers out in space, you just really stick with it.
Toronto needs 4 more yards here. They'll try to get it on the ground, and they will not. Adeyemi Berglund, the eliminator.
Yeah, he steps in the hole there. I mean, this was up on the line of scrimmage, 5-man pressure, and Adeyemi Berglund just beat his man on the outside, and that's where Ryan Hunter usually lines up. Not available for the Argos here tonight.
Letcher awaits this kick on his own 10. Haggerty, one of the bigger punters in the league, kicks it away from the 46. End over end, down and over the head of Letcher, and in and through the end zone for a single. Argos on top 4-3. Big defensive stop here. Laybourne, nowhere to go. Well, it's safe to say that Sean Thomas Erlington has made the most of his opportunity in Montreal this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, big time on pace to just blow away his personal best season at 371 yards. He's already just shy of 250. That big game against the BC Lions had 76 yards rushing and a nice fat 7-yard average.
Alexander down the field to the 50. Now inside it as he goes to Austin Mack for the first time today.
Nice protection up front. Austin Mack showing his great speed down the field and then turning it in. Best throw of the night, and the return of Davis Alexander. with Austin Mack coming right back to the ball.
It's the longest throw of the night as well. 26 yards to Mack. Alouettes in business. Toronto side of the field here. Alexander pump fake. Steps up, wants a deep shot. He's one down the field for Mack. Broken up. What a play. Looks like he's okay. It's McFadden. Got a hand on it.
It did look like Austin Mack got in behind by a step. Remember, Forrest McFadden had left the game and had to sit out 3 plays in the last series because of that stinger, and he plays inside in the deep third, and then when he sees the ball, it becomes a man-to-man situation, and great closing speed from McFadden. You can see the separation that Mack has created, but closing speed and the right hand on the knockdown. Or I'd like to call pass defended, or PBU, pass broken up.
I like the big PBU. 2 knockdowns for McFadden so far this year. That in behind Thomas Erlington, the intended target. Montreal has still not attempted a run in this football game. It's been 14 passes from Alexander, and that's it.
I think Jason Moss said, okay, I got my starting quarterback, and I'm just going to...
Let's just throw it.
Let's just throw it every play.
You know what I find really intriguing about this is that Toronto's defense against the run is the worst in the league.
Yeah, I think they need to test it, but you do have Wynn McManus back. That makes a difference. It's a long one.
52-yard attempt. Janarian Grant waits back in the end zone.
Timeout, temps d'arrêt, Montréal.
They have enough.
The wind is blowing into Maltos here.
Yeah,
swirling around a bit.
Clearly he changed his mind.
Yeah.
And by the disposition on the sideline, I would suggest there wasn't enough out there. I only counted 11.
So they will go to the punt instead. That would have been a pretty long kick into the wind that's coming out of that end zone there. Janarian Grant stands right underneath his uprights. Zimonata kick it away instead. Right from midfield. And that one through the end zone.
Directional kicking for both these teams important in this game tonight. Keep them away from those returners.
We will have more on Coxie when we return to Thursday Night Football. Well, very quickly, Damonte Coxie has become a human highlight reel, specifically on the road right here in Montreal. For more on that, let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
And our stats guru, John Perlberg, Dusty, is saying that Damonte Coxie is on pace for 1,400 yards this season, and that, a 1,000-yard season, is literally the one thing he doesn't have. He's got rings, highlight reel catches. But I asked him this week if that 1,000-yard season would matter to him. He said no. Being a father is what matters to Damonte Coxie. I remember a few years ago when I asked him about his son, Micaiah, and he had a jacket in his locker for his son as a reminder that being a father is so important to him. Now, he has another son, Isaiah. But this year, he had Malachi train with him in the offseason, and that mattered so much to Damonte Coxie because he said to us this week, he got to see me do what I do. I don't have to tell him. My sons are who I am, and doing what I have to on the field is everything, guys.
Well, they got to be proud of Dad, no doubt about it. And that's his first catch of the night that we just saw, but here's what he's working towards.
Well, and he's been targeted on one of those deep balls, the explosions, once in every game and a couple times against Ottawa.
And when you know he can go up and get it, why would you not throw it in his direction? This time they go to Mac Mahan, the running back, and that'll be a first down for the Argos.
Nice when you can lead by example with your son and train and show him this is the work ethic that's necessary, no matter what your kids want to do in their lives. But Damonte Coxie he's more than just a jump ball guy for sure. He's a route runner as well. Great hands.
He leads this team in second down catches as well. He's got 10 of them.
Yeah, he'll catch that tough one over the middle, and he doesn't mind getting his nose dirty either in the blocking department.
Fourth year out of Memphis, breaking a couple of tackles and pushing it ahead again. That's going to be a first down from McMahon.
Good idea to go off that left side, and Doc Stetter and George Moore, and get some blocks up front from left tackle. Little seal, just step out wide, so it gets too wide for that defensive end for Montreal. But this is what they wanted from Deontay McMahon, is a guy that can make you miss in the backfield. Great acceleration at the hole.
6 touches in this game, 53 yards for McMahon. 3 through the air, 3 on the ground. Near side, Coxie again. Nice move. Now he cuts it back. And he'll be stopped just short of a first down. But Coxie starting to cook here a little bit.
Well, blitz pickup, so Arbuckle knew he had to get out of his hands quickly. Couldn't block them all up front. You see Sutton come off the edge from the secondary, so he's the outlet in Coxie, and then a real nice move to juke the first couple of guys and pick up good yards on first down.
Lacroix eventually finishing it off. Arbuckle pushing it ahead. Second and just inches. And that's a first down for the Argos as they march on here midway through the second quarter.
Tell you what, I'm not sure who you put money on if you're a gambler, but the spread was around 10 when we kicked off. I think if you're Ryan Dinwiddie right now on the road in Montreal against a team that is really angry because of the way they lost against BC a couple weeks ago, I think you're real happy to be at 4-all with your offense driving and in field goal range.
I'd also suggest those who bet the under, if there were any, would be happy with this game so far. Arbuckle to his left. Good play design. All the way down inside the 20. First catch of the day for Tavares Daniels.
Real good play action fake here. And this is something that the Montreal defense isn't used to seeing from Nick Arbuckle, is to get him out on the run. It's a fake going one way, so that freezes the D all the way across the line, freezes him. Arbuckle has the edge now. He's got the option to run or pass. He sees that little curl. Good throw against the flow.
First catches of the game on this drive for both Coxie and Daniels. Inside the red zone from the Montreal 19. Arbuckle hit as he throws. Has a completion on the oh, it bounced away from him. Mital looked like he had it. Lost it when he hit the ground. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, this was pressure off the bottom of your screen here. Excuse me, coming off the bottom of your screen, and it's Wesley Sutton from the secondary. This is back-to-back plays.
Sure. Montréal numéro 37, Montreal 37, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down, premier repris.
And you see that stumble at the line of scrimmage. That's where he was in the neutral zone with the 5-yard penalty. Down over.
Arbuckle has started this game 13 of 17, 95 yards. After the penalty, no work from the Alouettes, 14. Arbuckle to his left again, dumps it off just inside the 10, and eventually Brissett will be forced out. They'll mark him just inside the 6.
Boy, this is nice scouting by Ryan Dinwiddie and putting together play package. He sees the slants going this way and freezes the defenders again with the McMahon fake right there. Look how committed they were off the edge. That was Kenton Arcou who bought full retail that fake. Arbuckle outside, drops it to Brissett.
9 straight completions for Arbuckle. First and goal for the Montreal 5. Looks to his left. It's deflected at the line and falls incomplete.
Four times now, Wesley Sutton from the halfback spot has come down under the secondary and come off the edge. This time he times his jump perfectly. That was the hot route, the blitz beater. And didn't get past, basically just got past the line of scrimmage.
The left hand of Sutton forcing Toronto into a second and goal situation. The crowd here in Montreal coming alive. Three options out to the wide side right for Arbuckle. Looks to the left, throws in that direction. Got it. Touchdown. Argonauts. Coxie's got his third of the season.
Real nice game plan against this defense. There's going to be no underneath help over here, no linebacker. You see Sutton on the blitz again. He's picked up by Tavares Daniels because this time he goes inside. That leaves a one-on-one with Coxie. And a game ball for Sutton, possibly.
Oh, they got to be happy if they're watching Daddy on Thursday night. 3 catches on that drive, including the touchdown to finish it. 6-yarder. Haralahu puts one through. And the lead is 7 with just over 5 minutes to play in the first half. Arbuckle putting together a pretty nice drive that ends in the hands of Damonte Coxie.
You're on the road. You're playing one of the top teams in the division, and you put together a 70-yard, 10-play, 5-minute drive that ends in a major, and you take a nice lead. I think you got to be happy with the first half performance of the Toronto Argonauts if you're Ryan Dinwiddie, his team.
Arbuckle throwing that touchdown pass after his first incompletion in the red zone all season. He was perfect coming into this game. Sutton batted that one down, then right back at Coxie for the touchdown. Letcher takes it at the 15. Letcher stays on his feet just outside the 40, and then he's eventually wrapped up by Darkangelo.
You know what I liked about the Arbuckle drive there and the 70 yards and the 10 plays was using play action, the accuracy, staying true to what the defense was giving him and what they were giving him in the first quarter as well. And Ryan Dinwiddie in the play calling being patient with it. You know, those little Coxie plays outside, getting McMahon involved.
He's got to be wearing if he's a drop 9.
Montreal trailing by 7. And another quick completion to Speaker. I keep waiting for them to hand that ball off, but it has not happened yet. Late in the half, Montreal has not attempted to run the ball even once. It's been all Davis Alexander so far. He's closing in on 100 yards.
Well, the other thing about that is your offensive line now is in pass pro all game long. And when you don't give them a chance to go out and block somebody in attack, that starts to get tiring.
2nd and 4. They'll clear it out. Alexander, the far side, picked off on the far side. It's McFadden. The race is onto the end zone, and he's going to be forced out just inside the 15. Second interception of the season for Tavares McFadden.
Intended target was Cole Speaker. Alexander wanted him to basically sell this so that McFadden turns his hips, and then he's going to run the out. But he doesn't sell it. In other words, Speaker, watch him kind of roll this out. And if you're going to just run that out that quickly, ball's got to be on the way a lot sooner. But McFadden just did not bite at all, stayed in his back pedal. I like to say stayed in that chair. That nice back pedal chair he's in, came out of that baby and took it.
38 yards on the return. Now again to Mital. Mital picks his way down inside the 10. recently. Back in the red zone, 9 yards.
Okay, let's watch McFadden here. So here's his chair right here. See, that's his chair. And he's just going to backpedal here. And what you want to do is get him to turn his hips and feel like it's going to be a deep route. He just took 2 easy backpedal steps in that chair and then came out of there flying down that sideline.
You're great at drawing chairs. It's very impressive. Didn't have a back leg on it, but that's okay.
It's a recliner.
2nd and 1 for the Montreal 6. Arbuckle hands it off. McMahon tripped up, but he's got the first down, and they are knocking on the door.
Well, this is what they had in Deontay McMahon when they decided that Kadeem Carey, 1,000-yard running back, was expendable.
We've hit 3 minutes in Montreal. Toronto on top.
We would like to use this 3-minute warning to find out what Milt Stegall learned in the first half of football.
Well, I did a preseason game and his last name was McMahon. Now it's McMahon.
It is, yes.
Well, you know what I'm changing mine to? Steagall.
Steagall?
No, that's not equal.
How about Stegall?
Yeah, the McMahon thing blows my mind, too. Well, we've gotten used to it. He stands in there behind Arbuckle. They give it to him. McMahon, end zone touchdown, Argos. His first of the season. And Toronto in control late in the half.
Well, it's as important as getting the turnovers as getting the points off them, and the Argos don't waste much time. McMahon with a couple of runs. This one a real deep handoff to allow him to pick his hole. Decided to go right off the edge and hit it full speed against Najee Murray.
Big return to the lineup for McMahon. Haralahu right down the pipe, and the lead is 14 with 2:46 on the clock.
Big set down on the goal line, so you have extra offensive linemen in the game, and they're basically just going to block off to the left side, basic slide, call it slide protection or blocking with a slide look, and just big on the line of scrimmage, and then you need one block from your receiver, and that's Tavares Daniels, and he holds off that defender just long enough. And that was Sean Oakman. Tavares Daniels was messing with.
That's a big boy. 0 rush yards for Montreal in this game. Toronto is almost at their season average. They only average 46. They're at 43. But Montreal, Suits, what are we making this? They have not attempted a rush yet in this game against the team that allows the most rush yards per game in the Argos defense.
It's a bit of a head scratcher, quite honest. I know they're excited about getting Davis Alexander back, but especially with the play of Sean Thomas Erlington of late. Go back to that BC game we showed you. He has almost 100 yards by himself. Some real great second effort runs too in that game. Got his whole team fired up. So it is a bit of a head scratcher. And the play action is going to stop mattering to the Argo defense.
Tice on the return. Got a little bit of space. Pushes it out beyond the 45. Lots of time to work here for the Alouettes, and Davis Alexander to salvage his opening half.
You know what I mean? Like, they've been running a lot of play action, and the RPO kind of looks, get Alexander outside. And, you know, he had some success in the first quarter doing it, but sooner or later, the Argo defense just says, well, they're not running the ball, so don't even worry about that fake. Play the quarterback, play your receivers, drop in your coverage. McFadden did that very well in the last series.
Tyson at running back this time. And they do give it to him. Pushes it ahead for about 3 yards. Maybe they should have passed.
The armchair play-by-play guy.
I'm frustrated because I was going to say, I bet you $1 million they'll run the ball here.
Yeah.
And they finally do. 3-yard pickup, 2nd and 7. Receivers to the left this time for Alexander. Looks over the middle, escapes the pocket, has some room to run, and he's going to take off. Wants the first down, and he's got it. A lunge ahead will do the trick. And Davis Alexander bouncing back up.
Well, I was checking him getting up, and it looked a little bit slow, but that's the first time he's really had to be under duress running away from a tackler.
He is heading to the sideline.
Oh, boy. I thought he got up a little slow. That's short yardage.
Caleb Evans.
It's a package.
Into the game. Looks like a package.
It's a 1st and 10, yeah.
They find Tice with it. Tice will push it ahead, and it works. That's
there you go.
8 yards on the ground there for Travis Tice.
I wonder with after that first run by Davis Alexander, if that was designed for him to come out and just make sure he rested it and didn't push it. That was a 1st and 10, and he did get the first down. I thought he might have been just a bit short, but he did get it.
Back into the huddle now for Alexander. Needs 2 more to keep this drive alive. Just under 2 minutes to play. Opening half in Montreal. Tice again. He's got the first down and more. Eventually thrown down by Parrish. He's got him inside the 40.
And in fairness to the play calling of this, and we're talking about just now getting to the run game for Jason Maas, those RPOs are the choice of the quarterback a lot of times. So in Moss's mind, it could be a run that he's calling.
4 straight runs on this drive. Has them down just outside the Toronto 35. They'll do it again. And Tice busts through the line, but goes down on the other side.
That one's different. That's a straight run, which is a called run. But the ones where you see that tailback sort of attacking outside the tackle or just off the tackle on the offensive line, and the quarterback is riding that, taking a look at the defensive end, he can pull it. That's a quarterback's decision.
4 yards on the ground. Empty backfield this time. Alexander feeling some pressure, trying to bounce it to the outside on the run. Near side, Sneed was just waiting there, wide open, and it's a first down for the Alouettes.
Yeah, when he redirected after he caught the ball, he did step out of bounds. That's right below our location, and Sneed does make the nice catch here. A little improvisation from Davis Alexander. Bounces around, gets outside, finds the open man. There he stepped with that right foot. About 2 yards past the marker.
Second catch of the game for Sneed. Sean Thomas Erlington back into the game at running back. And he gets it here. Takes it down on the edge of the red zone with just over 50 seconds on the clock. That's his first carry of the ball game. I'd say this is the best drive that Montreal has had so far in this game.
And they've added their tailbacks into the mix.
Second and 6. Alexander, pocket collapsing again on the run to his right, stumbles, can't find anybody and has to throw it incomplete. Chatfield was all over him.
Davis Alexander wanted Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield. He was covered down, and then the race was on.
28-yard attempt from Maltos. Hit from 37 earlier. This to make it an 11-point game. And he's good. He's been good most of the season. And he gets the job done again. How good does that look?
Yeah, there he is.
Milt Stegall back. Kate and the guys coming up at the half. Lots to discuss with the Argos in the lead, and then that panel. Early flight tomorrow.
That's going to be
out to Winnipeg.
That's going to be a game. Calgary
game
in Winnipeg. I'm reading a lot of the social media. The #1 ranked Calgary Stampeders heading to Winnipeg.
Haven't heard that in a few years.
A lot of people are ranking Calgary #1 right now, and they've earned it so far.
Arbuckle. Deep shot near sideline. Coxie wide open, and he misses the ball. That would have been 6 for sure. And he just put it over his head.
Oh, he had him. Coxie was in behind coverage. I believe it was Deontay Ruffin. Now, this is a couple of times that there's been no hesitation from Arbuckle to go out to 86. They're looking at this one-on-one matchup, and Coxie he was like, gotta be kidding. Can't get more open than that. Slants, little hooks, slants, and then the go route, and it was there.
Arbuckle just missed him. 2nd and 10 now from the Toronto 40. Arbuckle in trouble, and he'll be taken down. Adeyemi Berglund gets there, his 4th sack of the season.
Well, we've shown you this blitz from the Montreal defense a few times. That's Wesley Sutton coming here. Adeyemi Berglund's coming on the other side. The offensive line is in a bit of a bind. They see the halfback again, and he's stepping up in the line, but this time he's just covering. He didn't go on the blitz. He's just covering a guy close and me tall. So it's a bit tricky for the offensive line to be able to figure out, is it Sutton again on the blitz, and we should slide to the left, or should we just slide normally to the right and take care of the defensive end and Adeyemi Berglund, and they guessed wrong.
Team leading 4th quarterback sack of the year for Adeyemi Berglund. And as the clock ticks down, Arbuckle will just take a knee in Toronto. Maybe not happy with that miss to Coxie, but they have to be happy with an 18-7 lead right now.
Oh, absolutely. All the talk about Davis Alexander, and it's been Arbuckle with a 7-minute drive in the first quarter, a 5-minute drive, 10 plays and 70 yards in the second quarter. Points off of turnovers from the interception from McFadden, and Coxie's getting it done on that left side.
3 catches in the first half for Coxie. 1 of them for a touchdown. Could have been a monstrous half had he been able to get his hands on that deep shot from Arbuckle. Devontae Coxie standing by with Matthew Shinetti.
I just saw you, Coxie, going back and forth with Nick Arbuckle. That seemed really close in that deep shot, but overall, how happy are you with the offensive performance in that first half?
We got to do better. We had some good things going, but we got to do better. We left a lot of plays on there, just like that last play on me. I got to dig a little deeper for Nick on that one. So, offense been doing good. Shout out to O-line, man. O-line been blocking up today. You know, we've been doing good, so we're just trying to keep executing.
I talked about your love for your boys, Malachi and Isaiah. You have any message for them after that touchdown?
See y'all when I get home, man. I see y'all when I get home. Dad, I miss you.
Appreciate this.
Appreciate you.
All right.
right, Kate. Well, the Argos had an opportunity to open it up, but it's still 11 up. Back to you.
Matthew, this is exactly what the panel predicted in the pregame show. 18-7 lead for the Toronto Argonauts over the Montreal Alouettes. Back alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stegall as we break it all down. And look, not to take anything away from this Argonaut defense, because they have been great in this first half, but Davis Alexander, I think we can all agree, does not look 100%. Yes, we saw that one run, but he did back it off a little bit, so that makes you think when it comes to a hamstring, I mean, how far are they willing to risk that? We'll have to wait and see.
Right.
But when it comes to the defense, Tavares McFadden, tea time, as everyone likes to call him around here, I mean, he has been phenomenal. He has been all over this field and a complete nightmare for this Alouettes offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the plays that he's making. He made a huge stop with a receiver wide open, really. But Davis Sanchez, the DB in the crew, was talking about how difficult of a play that really is. You got to look and mention the fact that when McManus was right there putting pressure on Davis Alexander, but right there, the amount of body control that you have to have when you're turning your head around and still being able to find the ball and not slow down is a huge play.
Looking back and running is hard to keep your balance. That's
huge play. If he doesn't put his hand on that ball, that's a touchdown for Austin Mack. And you look at this play right here. He's made a few of these plays last couple of years as well. The following play, he makes a great play right here, great play on the ball, breaks on it, and you're not catching him. So he's running, and he is impacting this defense in a great way, and this is exactly what this defense needed. We talked about it off the top, Davis.
Right. Yeah, and impact, you talked about that. This team offensively needed somebody to make an impact. And we talked about the weapons they have. Well, one weapon that's really shown up today, Deontay McMahon.
McMahon.
Like to say that, yes. And coming into this game, they really weren't getting much production out of their running backs. You know, they cut a couple of guys who had some success in the past, Kadeem Carey and Kevin Brown, and they said, McMahon, this is your job. And right now, he's doing a great job. Coming into this game, they really couldn't run the ball, only averaging like 46 yards a game. But right now, they really have a nice balance attack at McMahon. He's not only leading them in rushing with 30 yards, but he's also leading them in receiving with 29 yards. Ryan Dinwiddie is a wizard. He's one of the best offensive coordinators I've been around. I played with him. He knows how to utilize his players. And so far in this first half, he's done a great job, and you can see what they've gotten out of it.
Yeah, I was looking earlier. I thought Matt Arbuckle did a really good job getting the ball out quick. And one thing about cover zero, we talked about it a bit during the thing, it's the receiver knows on the touchdown, the Coxie touchdown, the receiver knows he's running slant. The DB knows that everybody's coming, and it's a race to a spot.
Right.
And if the receiver, it's a tie, the receiver is going to win. And right here, here's a great example. Here's the touchdown to Coxie. They knew it was cover zero. Deontay Ruffin knew it was cover zero. Coxie knew, Ruffin knew. And look at the spot. Here it should be highlighted here. See that spot right there? Look, he knows, Ruffin knows his lane. He knows it's cover zero. He knows it's coming out, but it's a race to that spot. If Coxie and him get there at the same time, Coxie's going to win because Ruffin can't go through his body. It's a race. Coxie's big body gets there. The last part of that, of course, is you got to have an absolute dime from Nick Arbuckle. Let's give Arbuckle credit. Early on, getting the ball out quick, moving that offense, and I thought he did an excellent job. Obviously, that last one, they want that back to Coxie, but I thought he did a great job getting the ball out, executing when they had mismatches, and outnumbering them on swings and quicks.
And you know what I love, too? You said before the game, Ryan Dinwiddie had to be creative in this one.
Yep.
And you know what? Give him full marks, too, because he certainly has with this offense. And you're right. Getting a guy like, obviously, Arbuckle going, too, that has been a massive help. Milt, I know you're back, and I know you wanted one thing in halftime, and it is a segment called Straight Fire! Coming up right after the break, Argos lead by 11.
Thursday night football here in Montreal, the second of 3 meetings this season between the Argos and the Alouettes. He's one down the field for Mack, broken up. What a play! Got it! Touchdown! Argonauts! Coxie's got his third. Alexander, the far side, picked off on the far side. It's McFadden. They give it to him. McMahon, end zone touchdown. Argos, his first.
Week 7 schedule. I don't know if you have heard, but the panel is going on the road for Friday Night Football. The Stampede are taking on on the Blue Bombers. I heard that we may be able to get in that plane, by the way.
That's what I heard, too.
If I keep
Who's driving?
saying
That's
it,
the question.
obviously I'm driving.
Did you talk to Wade Miller about it?
I'm going to wait. If you're listening right now, then we need to have a chat tomorrow before the game. On Saturday, Rough Riders and Lions. Then it all wraps up on Sunday with the Tiger Cats taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks. As promised before the commercial break, it is time for one of our favorite segments on the CFL on TSN. We like to call it
Straight Fire.
I'm going to kick things off with the ladies here. Steel City Tigers flag football last seconds of the game. My goodness, Brie Lott makes the grab, goes underneath the defender. Oh, she goes underneath 2 defenders. Watch this. That was the game winner at Ron Joyce Stadium in Hamilton, Ontario. Gentlemen, that is what we call
Straight Fire. Well, let's go to BC U10 flag football and Charlie Gosselin for the Victoria Rise Elks. Look at this. Give another one. And he takes it to the house and they win a provisional title. The Elks beat the Victoria Lions. Kay, did you hear that?
I did.
The Elks beat the Lions, and that is what? Straight Fire.
History. Big 6 over here in Alberta, Edmonton. You got offensive lineman Brodus Martis with the touchdown. A thick 6, which is straight fire, but that dance is also straight fire.
Oh, give it to me. Oh.
I love that, big fella. We see you. We got 13-year-old Blake Hyder coming up here. Watch this. You watch the cut back here. Going left. Now sees the open field, brings it back, and you know what? On this play right here, Blake actually got tackled. So you can slow Blake down, but I'll tell you what, the very next play, Blake scores. You can slow Blake down, but you can't stop him. This right here.
Are you related to Blake?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I feel like you really went on
straight
fire. I'm sweating. Milton, you missed Straight Fire?
I did. I missed it.
All right.
My blood pressure getting up from that segment.
I was going to say, do we have enough time to talk about Davis Alexander? No, we got 15 seconds.
15 seconds?
Oh, man.
He looks,
I love having you back,
looks a little
Mil.
hobbled.
He's limping a little bit.
He is limping a little bit.
Run the ball. Yeah. Run the ball, Jason Moss.
You want to talk about Blake a little bit more?
I see you, Blake.
Second half of football coming up. Right now, the Toronto Argonauts putting on a bit of a clinic. Up 18-7. We will get you back to Percival Molson Stadium for second half action right after this.
Welcome back to Montreal. The Argos lead 18-7. Starting quarterback for Montreal, Davis Alexander, stands by just a few moments ago. He chatted with Matthew Shinetti.
Davis, how important was it to get the run game going before the end of the half?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some RPOs. I've been pulling it every time. We got to get our run game involved, got to get our big boys involved, and run the ball well.
We're all looking at you when you're running and you're going down and you're coming. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I don't think it's hindering me much. I'm able to get away if I need to. I don't think they've gotten to me much, so yeah.
Appreciate this. Thank you.
All right, so he says he's feeling okay, and he says they got to keep running the ball.
Not hampering him much. Yeah, that 35 yards rushing you saw from Montreal on the stat sheet was all in the final drive of the first half. But that was Davis Alexander again telling us that the RPO play is potentially a running play if you give it to your back and not pull it. And he said, I got to start doing that a little more.
16 consecutive passes to start the football game for Jason Moss and the Alouettes offense. Montreal will have the ball to start. This is the second of 3 meetings. If Toronto could finish the job here, it would be a split so far. They meet again in September, and that would decide the season series. Letcher and Tice wait to return the opening kick of the second half. Thank you for joining us on Thursday Night Football. Second half underway. Tice takes it just inside the 20, back to the 30, a little bit further before he stopped on the far side of the field. Johnson in on the tackle.
Well, let's take a look at Davis Alexander's first half. He got outside with the RPO play action. He was pulling it, quick throws here. Looked like the hamstring was doing just fine, especially when you roll to your left and have to twist your torso around to get that ball out. nice deeper throw, intermediate area to Austin Mack. There's him scrambling. I wasn't convinced that he's good with the hamstring. It was more of a, yeah, it's fine, it's not hampering me.
Toronto, their only win of the year. It's the only time they led it to half so far this season. Montreal is 0-1 when trailing at the half, and they'll start the half with an incompletion.
Yeah, low snap just kind of threw all of the timing and still should have been caught.
Tyler Sneed, just 2 catches on 2 targets in the first half. Guilty of the drop there. So 2nd and 10 for the Montreal 33. Alexander down the middle, and that is in behind Sneed as he was looking for him once again, working in front of Mark Milton in that secondary for Toronto.
Yeah, in front of him, but Wynton McManus had dropped underneath that throw, and I think that was a deliberate incompletion, or it was going the other way. Quietly making a difference here in this one tonight in the first half to get their leader back in Wynton McManus.
McManus with a tackle in his return in the first half. Zima, as the wind picks up a bit here in Montreal. Low driving kick. Janarian Grant watches it bounce out of bounds just outside the Toronto 20.
Here's Nick Arbuckle's first half. I thought it was an excellent first half for Arbuckle, and understanding what Montreal was trying to do defensively. Did get off and run a couple of times, but you know, the timing and getting the second quarter and getting Mac Mahon involved and Coxie, and had they hit the deep one, you know, it's a 3-score game. Just missed with Coxie late in the half, wide open down the field, and just missed him. I love how Coxie in the interview with Matthew on the sideline said, yeah, I got to dig a little bit more. Not putting it on his quarterback, just saying, I got to dig a little bit more for that one for Arbuckle.
Montreal as a team allowing just 22 points per game so far this year. That's the 2nd best in the league. They have 18 hung on them in the first half. Ungerer hauls it in. That's his 2nd catch of the evening.
Well, just really like the choices here, and you know, the innovation from Ryan Dinwiddie. He's got a flat receiver and one on a deep out that you'll see to the right of your screen as it develops. And you're moving the launch point around. Little fake to the underneath. That holds Eddie Berglund. Now you see the flat route in Mac Mahon. And he's got a choice between the two, so he takes the deeper one.
Went for 19 yards. Now they'll clear things out for Arbuckle. Finds his running back. Mac Mahon turns, takes a look, finds a little bit of space, and is tripped up just outside the 50. It was Oakman who got over there and got a hand on him.
This is a guy that we haven't mentioned all game long in Tyrese Beverette, and I don't remember doing an Alouettes game where we hadn't talked about him at length in the first half because he's making plays and around the ball. And I don't think it's because he's not playing well. It's just that right now Arbuckle is keeping them guessing.
He's got 4 tackles so far tonight. Had an interception in week 1 against the Argos. Arbuckle, far side. Mittal around one man. And he's got a first down and takes the ball onto Toronto's side of the field.
Yeah, this is basically where Mittal here, watch him go outside. Now, how does Beverette get involved there other than to hustle and try and get involved to help get him out of bounds? And there he is, showing up on your screen. I mean, he's still going sideline to sideline, but Arbuckle's keeping it away from those linebackers.
They'll work for the Montreal 53. Mittal hangs on to it, got popped by Dequoy. but he hangs on to it. That's his 7th catch of the game.
Najee Murray was coming on a blitz. He got picked up and big. That's Murray to the left corner of your screen. He goes on a blitz, so Mital just says, I've got the safety covering me. He's got a long way to go coming from the deep middle. And I should be open for this hot route. He is. And the block by McMahon on Murray is a wow block.
Got 4 on the play. They'll need 6 more. Arbuckle near sideline, and he drops it in there neatly for Coxie. And the Argos march on.
Let's go one more time back to that block. It's actually not McMahon, but Laybourne right here. He's going to see the blitz is coming. And it's coming from Najee Murray. Watch him pick him up. Well, you're going to lose him to the right of your screen, but he keeps driving. You'll see him in a second. And there he goes, right past the bottom of your screen. Still blocking. That was about a 30-yard block.
Rookie out of Marshall remains in at running back, and they'll give it to him. Pushes it up the middle. Short gain on first down, but second and manageable for Toronto.
Kalen Laybourne is rotating in and getting a chance to carry the football a little bit here too. Real nice cut into the A-gap between the center and the guard. That would be strong A, with the strong side of the field between center and guard.
Arbuckle's 5 for 5 on this drive, 48 yards, 2nd and 6 for the Alouettes, 32. Arbuckle, far side, and that is hauled in. Mital again, 8th of the game. Have yourself a night.
Combination routes on the outside. Look at the strength when you try to jam them. That was Antoine Dequoy coming up to try and jam him. He thought it was offensive pass interference. Kind of got bulldozed there, and it looks like it's going to be challenged from Jason Moss. He signaled immediately. OPI.
See him say OPI, yeah. So that's what they'll be looking at, an offensive pass interference.
Montreal is challenging the previous play for OPI by number 11 on 24. Montréal demande une révision pour une interférence offensive. Le jeu va être révisé. The play will be reviewed by the replay center.
There's a look at it. Replay center goes to work.
Here's Mital. There's Antoine Dequoy. Is it enough? Definitely past 5 yards, but is it enough? Or just a collision?
Upon review by the replay center, there was no infraction for offensive pass interference. Montreal will be charged a timeout. They're now out of timeout and out of challenge. Après révision, il n'y avait pas d'infraction pour une interférence offensive. Montréal perd un temps d'arrêt et ne peut plus aller en demande de révision.
And the ruling here is that Dequoy was trying to cut off the route. They collided. It wasn't offensive pass interference. He was just running his route.
1st and 10. Arbuckle, wide open end zone. Touchdown, Toronto. Unger's got it. And the Argos strike again.
Davis Sanchez, the corner and defensive back in the group, was talking about the slant and how to get to a spot when you're running the slant, and it's a race between DB and receiver. Coxie won the race in the first half. That was the fake the slant and go deep route, which is the progression from running slants in the first half.
Haralahu smoothed it through. And the Toronto Argonauts in full control, leading 25-7 on the road.
So as zero coverage, as David's mentioned, no help in the middle, so it's one-on-one, and you got to race to the spot. Receiver and DB on a slant route. There is the spot. Here's the route, and this time Unger says, "Oh, I'm not running to the spot." Ento thought it was slant, jumped it. Unger went deep.
An 8-play drive that went 84 yards. Arbuckle goes 7 of 7 on the drive for 80 yards. And his second passing touchdown of the game. Toronto's 3 for 3 in the red zone so far tonight. Letcher on the return, jammed up, slammed down by Deadrick Henson.
Well, I would suggest right now that the Alouettes are reeling a little bit. I mean, you're taking a look at a team heavily favored, getting their starting quarterback back in the lineup, and Davis Alexander, got Austin Mack back in the lineup, and really on all three phases been the second best team here tonight.
Oh, we would have had it.
But what a...
But they were in zero.
There's Arbuckle talking about zero coverage. No help. Corner has to fight for that slant route. Unger said, yeah. Coxie set it up on the other side against Ruffin. And then that was Unger up against Ento. Either way, though, both teams. I don't know, how surprised are you, partner?
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
I'm stunned by this. The Argos, I mean, they desperately needed this ball game. Both teams coming in off a bye. Toronto had won 8 in a row off of a bye, and they look like the team that took better advantage of it. Lanier left the field after making that last tackle. 2nd and 8. Alexander hammered as he throws. Oh, and a big hit at the other end of the play as well as Darius Bratton upends Cole Speaker.
That is a nice hit on the outside. You know, I'm not completely surprised that Montreal has a little rust with their starter after missing 3 weeks of action with the hamstring injury. That's a big hit. I am quite surprised with the defense. But again, full credit to Ryan Dinwiddie in this game plan for Nick Arbuckle tonight. It's been outstanding.
Argos defense allowing almost 33 points per game. 8th in the league. Only Edmonton worse. Oh, that one hops in. Picked up and hammered away. Janarian Grant takes it at the 25. And Grant into a pile just outside the 30. And he is driven back. What a night so far for Nick Arbuckle. 23 of 28, 198 yards. 2 majors. Toronto obviously missing Ryan Hunter tonight. More changes up front on the offensive line as well. Let's send it down to Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Dustin. Aneem Dankwa, who was in for Ryan Hunter originally, is out with a leg injury, so John Boss is now in at right tackle, and this has been an issue for the Argos all week coming off of the bye, because the first day back from the bye, Ryan Hunter was riding a scooter in downtown Toronto, turned a corner and got hit by a car. Apparently, the driver didn't see Ryan Hunter. I find that very hard to believe, but this is just another situation the Argos have had to deal with. A lot of injuries throughout the year, a lot of injuries to key leaders on this offense, but particularly with Ryan Hunter, he's the most outstanding offensive lineman, and he's moved around this line quite a bit, so it is a big loss, but the Argos seem to be adjusting to it.
John Boss, 3rd-round pick out of the University of Calgary in the 2024 draft. In there at right tackle. 4 receivers, wide side right for Arbuckle. That's where he's going to roll. That's where he throws for Sergi Mayala, who's not been targeted yet tonight, can't get to that one.
Well, I'm not surprised that, Adam Dankwa has had some issues in the first half. I mean, a couple of times, took a look at Isaac Ademi Berglund that beat him inside a few times. And, you don't know the blocking scheme that's called in the huddle, but it looked like he was struggling. And now that's from Matthew that he's been injured. And now it's John Voss. So 25 points on the board, though, offensively.
Arbuckle in trouble. And he just tosses it towards his running back. That will bring up third down. And Montreal's defense finally causing some issues for Arbuckle and the Argos.
This was basically a designed screen pass. So there's going to be pressure because they're going to allow pressure. And Darnell Sankey sniffs this out. He realizes they're trying to set up a screen here. They're just letting our defensive line go free, set up the screen. I would make it difficult for Arbuckle to make that decision and make that throw. Darnell Sankey made the play.
Haggerty awaits the snap. Letcher awaits the kick. It's a big one. Letcher has the backpedal, takes it inside the 20. Can he find a seam? A burst on the far side of the field. Brings the crowd to its feet. And he's eventually forced out around the 50. And what has ended up being an absolutely beautiful evening in Montreal. Just one shot back. Long way to go at that major. Long way to go here as well, but the Argos are in the driver's seat. Alexander, far side of the field, has his fullback, Dallaire. It's his 6th catch of the season.
I don't think the running game for Montreal should be abandoned just yet. There's still over a quarter to play. And I wonder how much they miss Tyson Philpott in the lineup, a guy who's a deep threat. And when he's not getting the ball, but he's running those deep routes, it opens up the underneath stuff for the rest of the receiving corps.
Undoubtedly miss him a lot. 3 touchdowns on the year already, almost 300 yards as well. They work from the Argo 50. Quickly this time to Letcher. And that's his first catch of the game. Takes him down to the 45, 5-yard pickup.
Well, it's almost a must score here to get back, try to crawl back in this game, although they know how quickly it can turn when you think back to that BC game. Montreal had pretty much control of that one from start to finish and then lost in the final few seconds.
Alexander wanting to throw again. And he guns one in there to Austin Mack.
Yeah, Austin Mack got again familiar with Wynton McManus. Wynton McManus, when we talk about leadership quite often and don't really get into it, but here's an analogy that might help. When you're kids and you've got kids and you know what it's like, and it's a thunderstorm, lightning outside, and your kids are looking straight at dad to see if he's worried.
And I am.
No, you're supposed to not be worried.
Sorry.
Okay, so you're not worried, so they're calm. That's what happens when you get your leader back. Sometimes it's going sideways and everybody's looking at that guy going, are you worried? And if he doesn't look worried, you're okay.
Meanwhile, the Nielsen family's hiding in the basement. Alexander rolls to his left, dumps it off. Thomas Erlington's got it. And that's going to be another first down as Montreal puts together a drive late in the third quarter.
And Wynton McManus getting up a little late, but he makes the tackle on that. Must have hurt us. Dad saying, not only am I going to be the rock here, so if anything goes sideways, he overran it a little bit, then cut back and was the first to get in on the tackle, and then he's been working on a knee too, I believe.
And I think he's just taken a knee. Now he's bounced back up. but he is walking off, now jogging off. Huge part of this defense. How about the 4 pick sixes since 2022? Knockdown, sacks, tackles for a loss. He does it all for this defense.
See that picture of him? If he looks like that in the lightning storm, don't worry. He'll settle in, watch a little TV, and don't worry about it.
He'll watch for now. We'll see how close of a look the training staff takes at him.
He waved the training staff off.
He's pacing the sideline right now.
He has to go for 3 plays now, but he waved him off halfway on. Said, "No, I'm good. Don't worry about it."
Good luck getting a look at him right now. Not going to allow it. Alouettes will work from the Argo 30 on the ground. Thomas Erlington, a nice cut down the hole, and an excellent pickup on first down.
Darkangelo, of course, will come in for Wynton McManus. He has to sit out for 3 plays. And let's take a look at number 35 in the middle of your screen. Which slides to the hole. A little bit of hesitation in the hole, and he gets blocked.
Extra protection brought in this time. Alexander dumps it off, and that will be a first down as he found Rambo, who was involved heavily early in the game, but it has been quiet since.
Now I like this 2-play combination from Jason Maas to run to Thomas Erlington on the first down. You saw Darkangelo jump and be hesitant in the hole. This time they fake it up the middle. Darkangelo jumps in the hole, and they dump it off inside of Rambo.
Second trip to the red zone tonight for the Alouettes. Had to settle for a field goal on their first visit.
I don't think that was enough plays for McManus. He went back out, wanted to be back in there, and was told that was only 2.
Sneaky boy. They stopped him with a smile on his face there. Worth a try.
Yeah, why not?
Worth a try. 2 options, wide side right. They'll hand it off. And Sean Thomas Erlington goes nowhere. Cam Judge there to close the door.
Yeah, nice scrape by Cam Judge, who came into this game leading the Argos defense in tackles. And an athlete that, if you needed to spy a quarterback, like even a Davis Alexander or a Trey Ford in Edmonton, you ask Cameron Judge to do it.
29 tackles coming into the game. Has 3 already here. 2nd and 9, a big second down for Montreal. Alexander gets it away. Thomas Erlington bounces off 1 tackle, trying to push it ahead, but he'll be stopped at the 10. Needed the 6.
Yeah, I don't think Jason Maas is going to put the field goal team out there. They're huddled around him looking for the signal, but he's just calling another play.
3rd and 4. They went for it on 3rd and 3 in the first half and picked it up.
You get this, it's a 2-possession game if you kick the field goal. Lots of football to be played left.
No field goal here. Alexander, end zone shot to the corner. Got it. Touchdown. Alouettes. Cole Speaker. That'll work.
Gutsy call by the coach, pays off with an absolute beautiful throw from Davis Alexander. That accuracy that we were used to in the 3-0 start, it's back. He teardrops this one over the defenders, right in the corner of the end zone to Speaker. That's why you let him win at NHL video games.
I think it was Snead that he beat.
Okay.
But it looks like he probably beat Speaker as well. And the Alouettes, at the end of the third quarter, have life. 9-play, 60-yard drive that took just under 6 minutes and ends where it had to. For a touchdown. Second of the year for Speaker. Welcome back to Montreal, where the Alouettes pretty much had to have a touchdown there. They now trail by 11, and a long way to go in this football game here to kick off another week of CFL action on Thursday night football. I mean, he said field goal, but they got the touchdown. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a gutsy call by Jason Moss, and it worked out for him for sure. I still probably would have kicked the field goal. I know there's a lot of coaches saying sometimes you got to be aggressive, believe in your team, and this time it wasn't real fancy. It was a straight go route, and because there's no safety and Sluka in the middle, Bratton is going to backpedal inside, and all that Speaker does is separate. He just widens his route on a straight go route enough so that Davis Alexander can lead him to the back of the end zone, and that was an excellent throw.
Alexander on that drive, 7 of 7, 52 yards, and the touchdown, his first of the night. Janarian Grant stopped immediately. Nowhere to go on that kick return, and we'll see if the Alouettes defense can get the ball back in a timely fashion here.
Yeah, it can turn in a hurry, can't it? We've got a lot of football to be played here in the fourth quarter. So the mission is long from accomplished for Arbuckle in this offense for the Argos.
Arbuckle 23 of 30, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, has looked after the football so far. Start on their own 35 do the Argos. And they'll hand it off. Far side, Laybourne. What a burst. Flag at the end of the run. Jalen Laybourne, though, taking off for 18.
Holding at the corner of the line of scrimmage, I believe.
5. Holding, retenu, Toronto. 52, number 6, 52.
That is just the 4th penalty of the ball game.
Castro gets that one, but Eddie Berglund got up kind of with his hands in the air. Usually you look at the defender who's trying to get the attention of the official, see who got caught for the holding.
So instead it's a 1st and 20 from the Toronto 25. Arbuckle looks to his right, now his left, throws in that direction, and it's incomplete. Not sure if that was deflected at the line of scrimmage or not, but nobody really had a crack at it.
Yeah, it looked like Tavares Daniels just kind of stumbled out of his break a little bit, but the pocket was collapsing around Arbuckle on that throw.
Arbuckle started this half 7 of 7, but now 3 straight incompletions. Needs a huge chunk here, or they'll be kicking it back to Montreal with the momentum. 4 receivers, wide right. Arbuckle finds the pocket, near side to nobody. Unger was over there, but never had a crack at it. 3rd and 20, and they'll be kicking it away.
Arbuckle had an opportunity. He had a few receivers that were trying to go through the scramble drills, but like the Alouettes dropped 9, and he just didn't want to risk it, which is probably a good decision.
Back to Haggerty here. His last 2 punts, 68 and 61 yards. Letcher paces at his 35. Whistles
whistle down
before the kick.
d'arrêt, Toronto.
Timeout called by Dinwiddie and his Argos.
Were they missing the guy?
I was going to say, is this a personnel issue on their side? Looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, better to burn a timeout than to have one man short. And these returners have been held in check tonight so far. One semi-good return from Letcher.
They love an even better one now. Low driving kick. Going to bounce at the 42. Letcher grabs it. Flag as he takes it back just outside the 40. That'll definitely be no yards.
No yards. Non-respect de l'immunité. Toronto, numéro 36, number 36, 15 verges.
I probably shouldn't admit this, but a little confession here. I think that song's extremely catchy. It's really catchy.
Especially when you're cleaning stuff.
Yeah, I dance the same way when I'm cleaning the house. Alexander, near sideline. And that one intercepted, but did he get his feet in? He didn't. McFadden came down out of bounds. Alexander dodges a bullet.
Take a look. He's not arguing much about it. He has to go up and high point it. And do the feet come to? Yeah, clearly out. Been number 2 on the night.
Oh, that would have been big. Trying to find Sneed. McFadden, other ideas.
What a game for McFadden.
2nd and 10 from the 51. Alexander, deep drop. Now on the run. Can he find some space? The answer is no. And he is hammered back by Aaron Casey.
Davis Alexander was looking to the side of McFadden. He did have a target over there, but he just didn't want to pull the trigger. That's a couple of times now. Watch how hard he's looking to his left. McFadden's playing corner on the left side of the defense for the Argos there. See him looking hard over there? Hard to the left, hard to the left. No, you know what? I'm not going to take a chance. And there's the big hit at the end of it.
Let's take a look at it here.
Now he is a running back in this case, or treated as one.
And that kick flies out of bounds around the 10-yard line. No return opportunity for Janarian Grant. Actually going to mark it out way up at the 16.
You know, I think Jason Motz is wondering about a roughing the passer hit here.
Legal punt out of bounds. Toronto number 29.
Or unnecessary roughness.
Côté de dégagement directement à l'extérieur. Pénalité de 10 verges. Premier essai.
But once the quarterback crosses the line of scrimmage with the ball tucked like that, he is treated as a running back at that point. So if you thought that was excessive if it was a running back, then you're on Jason Moss's side of the argument.
Ball is placed at the Toronto 26. And a chance with a drive here for Arbuckle. Maybe put the final dagger in these Alouettes at home. Arbuckle dumps it off. Incomplete. Got rid of it just in time, but McMahon couldn't get him in on it. Oakman with a limp as he heads to the sideline.
Marc-Antoine Duclair makes a play here. He's on the outside the hash mark, and he's going to roll right to the middle. This is exactly where Arbuckle wants to go, is to that backside seam. And here comes 24, the safety. See how he opens up and runs right to it? That eliminates that deep target for Arbuckle.
5 consecutive incompletions for Arbuckle. Still with an 11-point cushion. Now he's in trouble and he's taken down. Sankey, Canton Arku both get there.
Sankey's right here. They're going to bring Murray. This is an all-out blitz, and the DBs are playing off. So no real hot route for Arbuckle. In fact, he can't see past that line of defenders. Canton Arku gets there first, but Sankey hit that A-gap pretty hard.
Excellent field position looming here with any type of return. Big low driving kick. How about that? Letcher takes it just inside the 35, picks his way back up the field, bounces off one tackler, still going, and all the way back up to midfield. That is an excellent effort return after a 59-yard kick. Arbuckle taken down. Alouettes cranking it up. CFL on TSN returns tomorrow with Friday Night Football, and what a game this is. Stampeders taking on the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg. Catch all the action, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Milt and the panel in the house in Winnipeg tomorrow night. That should be an incredible evening at Princess Auto Stadium. Midfield, Alexander starts it on the run. He's in trouble, gets it away, and it's caught on the near side. Taken ahead. Looks like a first down for the second time. He goes to Jacob Mason.
Andrew Chatfield thought he had himself a sack. He was on his horse trying to run down Davis Alexander. I mean, he gets outside. Look at 94, just hustling. Big dive there. Not quite. Not number 6. Not yet.
Third time in this game that Alexander has found a fullback. The work from the Toronto 41. Down 11. Trying to set something up. It might work for Speaker, and he's got some room. Speaker down to the 10. Staying on his feet, still going, and they'll stop him inside the 5. The Alouettes are in business.
Outstanding call from Jason Moss with a double screen. There goes Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield to set it up like it looks like it's going to the right. Fullback going to the right. That's where Davis Alexander turns first, then he flips his hip. And what a catch by Cole Speaker. I mean, he had to one-hand that almost as he's trying to find his blocking that's coming out there. But here, watch this. Just stab it. He can get both hands on it, but that was quite a catch in the middle and then did the heavy lifting after.
First and goal from the Toronto 3. Alexander hands it off. Spin move to the end zone. Touchdown, Alouettes. Sean Thomas Erlington. And Montreal finds themselves back in this one.
And they'll go for 2. This fourth quarter play calling's been outstanding, partly because they have given it to the tailback in that RPO look more than they did in the first half in a big way. That keeps the defense off balance, and it paid off there with that run.
They'll look to make it a 3-point contest. First time going for 2 this season. Alexander looks to his right, throws it over the middle, up for grabs, broken up. Darius Bratton working against Mack. And the lead remains 5 in favor of the visitors from Toronto. Sean Thomas Erlington, second rushing touchdown of the season.
Nice misdirection on this play. Watch how the back movement this way pulls the middle linebacker and Wynton McManus, and then the offensive linemen are coming out in the opposite direction for Cole Speaker and this slot back screen to the left side. So here comes the big offensive lineman out in front, and maybe the key block by Pierre-Olivier Lestage, who had a little bit of issue in the BC game afterwards, and a penalty, making up for that.
Grant, who's been contained so far tonight, tries to pick his way up the middle, and he'll get it just beyond the 35. 3 consecutive 2-and-outs here for the Argos has allowed Montreal to get right back in this game with still over 8 minutes remaining.
I know it's easy to say from way up here in the broadcast booth, but there was a flat route out here that is wide open on the 2-point convert. Now, I don't blame for a second Davis Alexander going to Austin Mack, but look at this. I mean, we're talking nobody.
Quick drive, though, just 89 seconds, 3 plays, 54 yards. Arbuckle, far side. Mittal, 9th catch of the game. Wow. First down, Argos.
They are really leaning on him in the last couple of games. And that's a big play in a lot of ways. I mean, this has been 3 2-and-outs, and all the momentum now with the Alouettes now just down by 1 possession, and the Argos need a few first downs at least to give their defense a rest.
8 catches on 104 yards for Mittal in their last game. He's got 63 yards tonight. McMahon trying to kick it outside, not going to work. Picks up about 2 yards on that carry. And he is laboring, unable to get up immediately. We've seen his backup, Kalen Laybourne, in the game a couple of times tonight. Toronto started this game pretty effectively on the ground.
Well, I think their play calling for 3 quarters has been outstanding from Ryan Dinwiddie, and executed well by Nick Arbuckle, and sort of taking what the Alouettes have been giving them defensively. A lot of show blitz early, and then they went with some secondary pressures and things like that that were picked up by Arbuckle. Maybe that last hit at the bottom of the pile from Oakman.
He remains down. They had, we talked about it coming in, averaging about 46 yards per game on the ground, and they started so well. They sit just at 49 now. Montreal actually has more rushing yards than Toronto does, and Montreal started the game with 16 consecutive pass attempts. So neither team really able to generate anything of significance on the ground attack just yet.
Right, but coaches go away from it for some reason at times when they need it most, you know, and I've seen it many times happen where they sort of get in the flow. But again, we should be clear on the RPO type of play. To a coach and a play caller, an RPO is an option to run. And 2 of the 3 options are for the quarterback to run or the tailback to run. Both of those are running plays. So, you know, you can call the RPO, and if the quarterback keeps pulling it and looking down the field to throw it, well, it's out of your hands by that point.
Laybourne in the game at running back for Toronto. Montreal crowd getting behind this defense. Arbuckle needs 8. He looks for a lot more. Daniels, no! Incomplete, working against Kennedy. And the defense comes out on top.
Took a shot, wanted to see where Marc-Antoine Dequoy was lined up. He stayed in the middle. That little look from Arbuckle froze Duquois, so he couldn't get out there to help. That's why Arbuckle liked the odds with Daniels in behind Robert Kennedy there just by a step, but he recovered.
Tice stands back to return this. We heard Letcher was dealing with something on the sideline. So Tyson's there now, waits at the 10 to return a punt. Usually Letcher's job. Tice does return kicks. This is a bobble, and it's up for grabs. Oh my goodness! And the Alouettes survive the ultimate scare with 6.5 to go in this game. Nate Beauchemin saves the backside of Travis Tice.
So you think it's easy to catch a punt with 12 guys hustling down to get you? It's not. If you don't do it all the time, you don't get out of those kicks, it's very, very difficult. And Tice just bobbles it around, takes his eyes off the ball for a second.
Very lucky. Maybe it's those fireworks in the distance. They're distracting me. They're being set off by Meatall fantasy owners tonight with 9 catches.
That was Letcher holding that arm.
Well, started on the ground, right up the middle. Tice this time, he hangs on, and he churns out a few hard yards here. There's Letcher. Do not expect him to be coming back to return anything.
Oh, looks like he's got a cast on his right wrist. Darkangelo's in for Wynton McManus. Or is McManus?
I think McManus is in there as well. Yeah, yep. McManus is still in there. 2nd and 4. Tice again, and he's got a hole and a first down. Takes it out beyond the 30. 5.5 to play.
Callender, Lestage again. There they are on that left side. And how many times have you heard a coach say, don't worry about the play that just happened. Once it's done, get to the next one. A bobbled snap on a kick, rescued by his teammates, and now 2 big runs for first down.
Tice averaging over 6 yards per carry in this ball game. Stands in to the left of Davis Alexander. Alexander this time keeps it himself. Near side Speaker. And that will not be positive yardage. Back to the line of scrimmage. I think maybe a yard they might give him.
Davis Alexander wanted the deeper out, sort of shallow curl or corner route. But Benji Franklin was in the area. Could still kick it here if you don't get 9.
I think so, yep.
Lots of time to go to get another possession or 2.
They'll look for the 9 right here. 3 out to the left for Alexander. That's where he goes. He's got Austin Mack for a first down. Tackle made by Mark Milton, but not before Mack had picked up the yards needed.
Yeah, this is a dilemma for the Argos defensively. You got a 5-point lead. There's so much time left to play. You don't want to give up anything in behind you. So Mark Milton wants to give Mack some room, but you also can't give him 15 yards of crack.
The co-defensive coordinators looking on. Davis Alexander with 5-man pressure. He's going to look for a deep shot down the field. Incomplete. Tried to find Rambo. The crowd here wanted a PI flag, but I don't think they were remotely close to getting that one.
No, but you can hope. There can be wishful
You can cheer for it.
You can cheer for it, sure. Yeah, no, this is Mark Milton who's dropping back down the inside of the hash mark, opens up to it, and then Rambo just kind of, he sees that that ball is basically not catchable, kind of reaches and falls down.
Tried to draw one.
Yep.
Didn't work. 2nd and 10 from the Alouette 48. Argos send 4. And a great timing throw as it's gunned in there to Sneed. First down, Montreal again.
Well, from the comeback perspective, perspective for Davis Alexander, maybe his best throw of the night. Coverage in play, second and long, time running out, first down Montreal.
Thursday night football, nail biter, inside 3 minutes. Well, we are just getting going on week 7. Big one tomorrow night in Winnipeg. Both these games in the West are huge this week. Panel will be in the house on Friday in Winnipeg. Riders taking on the BC Lions and Nathan Rourke, and then a rematch from last week, Hamilton and Ottawa, to wrap things up. Alexander has it. Man, wide open, down the field. He's got Speaker again. Stripped, taken away. What is happening down in the end zone? Was it a touchdown or not?
San Toronto ball.
Wow. We got to get a look at this.
Well, first of all, Davis Alexander pulls it. Let's take a look now. This is Speaker, open field. Is it out before he crossed the plane? I think it is.
Definitely. Sluka, what a play.
Oh, yeah, that's out well before he crossed the goal line and doesn't regain possession. Now, if McFadden knocks it out with his hand, it is Montreal ball. He doesn't. He recovers it. That ball is out. It's a fumble. McFadden down to pick it up.
What a turn of events.
And heads up by a guy who's had an outstanding game.
Fun review by the replay center. The ball carrier fumbled the ball before he reached the goal line. The ball was recovered by Toronto in goal. Toronto first down at the 30-yard line.
Possible game saver from Sluka.
He has made some big plays in the start of this football season.
Arbuckle gets it back again. Running it here. Nowhere to go. Line of scrimmage.
Still time for Montreal. Let's go back to Sluka, though, and show you how much hustle can pay off. Watch Sluka. First of all, he's calling the defense, making sure they got the check. He's going to slide to his right and then redirect, get after it, not give up on the play when Speaker is wide open. Hustle over, strip the football. His teammate recovers it. That's a hustle play, start to finish.
I'm not sure you'll see many defensive plays that impressive the rest of the season. Outstanding stuff. Big second down. Arbuckle in trouble and they get to him again. The ball pops out and are the Alouettes on it? They are. Can you believe this? Montreal's defense takes it back. Oh, wow.
Inside pass rush by Oakman. Not sure if he got the strip. Number 2.
Incredible. Look at that line just get hammered back. And yada, yada, yada. The Alouettes have the ball again inside the 30, looking to take the lead with just over 2 minutes left. Can they finish the job this time? Alexander, a little bit of confusion, still dumps it off. Rambo's got it, takes it down just outside the 10. Looks like a first down, Montreal.
Right after the play, Davis Alexander and Thomas Erlington talked that one out all the way back to the huddle because one of them went the wrong direction on the play action. Didn't matter. They had that push to the flat wide open anyway, but you see Alexander, well, nobody there to fake it to, but we'll just continue on.
Just 2 minutes remaining in this one. Alouettes knocking on the door, looking for the lead. Alexander keeps it again on the run. He's going to do it himself. Touchdown! Alouettes! Davis Alexander!
He did it himself, but he got the hamstring again.
He was reaching for the hammy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he asked his teammates not to jump up or celebrate with him. They're going to go for two. I'm not sure if he can finish it.
A good news, bad news situation for the Alouettes.
This time the play fake was right where it needed to be, and it pulled Derek Parrish right over to Thomas Erlington, and there he grabs that hamstring one more time.
Tough to see. They'll go for two. He's going to try to stay in. He's waving them off.
Yeah. Because if the trainers get out there, he has to leave.
MBT warming up on the sideline. And Montreal leading by 1. They'd like to be leading by 3. Alexander going to try to tough it out. John Thomas Erlington, couple steps up to his right. Alexander throwing, oh, it's dropped! Oh no, Speaker, he's been so good tonight. But that one, a drop. Alexander to the turf as well.
Keep that hamstring loose. Outside, it's Cole Speaker. Guy that got stripped, throw got through, and just distracted by Wynton McManus. There's the alibi for 17, but should have had it.
He has caught 9 balls for 130 yards and a touchdown tonight, and he drops that one.
It was right at the end of the run that Alexander grabbed the hamstring. Right there. It was like that cut that he went inside, tweaked it again. He was okay here, and then right there, see how his left ankle, and then grabbed the left ham. And this is an injury that's been nagging. It's been nagging for a long time.
Since the spring, right?
Yes. That's good news that he's kind of loosening it up and running off. But there is time for Nick Arbuckle.
Oh, yeah.
And this Argo offense, you go back to their last game against BC, and the Lions came back and won on a walk-off field goal by Sean White. The final catch by Javon Catoy was with 3 seconds left when the ball was snapped, and they still had time to kick a walk-off field goal winner. Toronto has a chance and lots of time to try and make it back-to-back games.
Pretty eventful final 3 minutes thus far. 1:46 to go. Grant, quiet tonight. Takes it just outside the 10. Can they find some space for him? No, not gonna happen. Richards barrels over him. And the crowd in Montreal to their feet on that tackle. Aralahu's long on the season. I got it at 50. In fact, he's 3 for 3 from beyond 50.
That means that Arbuckle's got to get to the 43.
Arbuckle, far side, held on to. Great catch. That'll silence the crowd as Brissett hauls it in.
Argos still have a timeout.
sideline.
McMahon's back in.
3 options to the right for Arbuckle. That's where he throws, and he's got Mittal again. Give him 10 catches in the game. None bigger than this one.
And the throw from Arbuckle with the defender all over him. I mean, Etienne McGurglin's coming off the edge. He's getting hit by Darnell Sankey and gets that out there just in time to Mittal.
Creeping towards field goal range are the Argos on the road. Just 1 win on the season so far. Arbuckle gets it away, far side. Coetzee trying to escape, but he's driven back, hanging on to the ball, and will eventually try to push it out of bounds.
It'll be interesting where they mark this. His forward progress, I thought, was right at the center field stripe.
McMahon is down on the field once again. Tying his shoe, I think, this time. Yes, he's okay.
They didn't give him the full forward progress. That's back a yard before the center stripe. Need about 15 more. The quad's down.
They're going to bring everybody. Arbuckle pressured his face. Hit as he throws. It's up for grabs. Intercepted. Ento takes it away. And Montreal's defense does it again. A dagger from the Alouettes. And they take it away.
Marc-Antoine Dequoy had a quiet start by his standards to the CFL season, but he makes a big play coming off the edge to make sure that Arbuckle can't step into this throw because he has a deep receiver here, but he gets hammered as he lets it go.
Challenging the previous play for roughing the passer. The play will be reviewed.
Oh, boy.
And let's take a look at, was it too much from Antoine Dequoy? Here he is off the edge. Is it up high? Did he get him in the chin?
I don't know. I think he might have got him almost under the arm where he was throwing it. And if you're Toronto, you might as well challenge this.
Yeah, you try it for sure.
He's giving you something to look at, but that's going to be a tough one.
You know, from that second angle, it looked like it was under the arm. It certainly wasn't late. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that second look, see what the replay center comes up with. Because Arbuckle was letting go of the football at the time, hit him underneath the arm.
Well, this is the game right here. One more look at it. Is this roughing the passer?
Upon review by the replay center, there was no roughing the passer on the play. Therefore, Toronto is charged their final timeout. First down, Montreal.
Montreal will keep the ball. Here's a look at the interception.
Ento could just play the football cleanly because he wasn't the guy covering Mittal.
Caleb Evans in the game, hands it off. 48 seconds on the clock. What a wild final few moments here in Montreal to kick off another week in the Canadian Football League.
Well, we hope Davis Alexander is healthy for next week, but this holds the last 40 seconds. He goes to 8-0 as a starter. Ties Danny McManus.
2nd and 7. This one will be driven back immediately. Jordan Williams making the play with 29 seconds on the clock. And Janarian Grant looms large down at his own 20, waiting to see what the Alouettes are going to do.
Joseph Zima has done a nice job of trying to limit his returns with directional kicking between the numbers and the hash marks.
Grant, one of the best to ever do it, stands on his own 16.
Returner has to count, make sure there's 11 in front of him, and he's the 12th.
Zima will let the clock tick down. 9 seconds difference. Does Grant have this in him? That's away. Grant takes it just inside the 20. 4 seconds on the clock. No room to go anywhere, and it's over. Special teams finishes it for the Alouettes as they complete the comeback to stun the Argos.
Huge fourth quarter for Davis Alexander, who limps off, but goes to 8-0, the start of his journey.
Tied for the best start in his CFL career. 8 wins. He joins Danny Mack at the top. There it is. Best record to start a career in the history of the league. This one was tight, but they found a way to get it done. Thrilling fashion. The Owls outscored the Argos 12-0 in the fourth quarter to come back and pick up a 26-25 victory. The Argos 1-5 on the season. What a night in Montreal. Let's send it to SportsCenter.
Come on in. Welcome to SportsCenter. Jermaine Franklin, Mark Rowe here with you. And what an ending to that game. Just outstanding. Well, not great because of the turnovers, but outstanding because of the excitement. Now, when you think about the Argos, this was as close to a must-win game as you could get for them with just one win on the season. They had an 18-point lead in this game, but they couldn't finish. That's got to be heartbreaking for them. And on the other side, outstanding, gritty win for the Alouettes.
And think the big news of Week 7 in the CFL, Milt Stegall is back on the panel, and he gets to watch this, and he'll get to break it down with the panel a little bit later in the show. But as Jermaine pointed out, what a finish in Montreal. Davis Alexander, back after missing 2 games with a hamstring injury. With the win, he would match Danny McManus for the best record to start a CFL career at 8-0. Als down 4-3 in the second quarter. It's Alexander looking deep downfield for Austin Mack, but that one is broken up by Tavarius McFadden. Montreal later forced to punt. They would tie it with a single. Ensuing Argos drive, Nick Arbuckle finds DeMonte Coxie. It's a touchdown. Coxie entered the week with the 4th most receiving yards in the league. He gets his 3rd touchdown. So it's now 11-4 Argos. And on the very next Owls drive, Alexander has this one picked off by McFadden. He ran it the whole way, and he brings it inside the 15-yard line. Montreal's first 16 plays of the game were all passes. They didn't have a rushing attempt until late in the second quarter. The Argos punched it in, and they led by 11 at the break. Early in the third now, Arbuckle looks end zone. David Ungerer could not possibly be more open. check out the move that he puts on Al's DB, Kabion Ento. The Argos entered as a 9.5-point underdog. They're up 25-7. Alexander's perfect record on the line late in the third. Al's going for it on third down, and it's Alexander finding Cole Speaker in the corner of the end zone. Alexander's 6th touchdown pass of the year. Montreal back within 11 heading into the fourth quarter. And it's the Als near midfield. Alexander under pressure, rolls out and flips it to Jacob Mason for the first down. Very next play, Alexander finding Speaker on the screen. He finds a hole, takes his one for a huge gain all the way to the Argos 3-yard line. Next play after that, Alexander hands it off to Sean Thomas Erlington. Alexander leads a 3-play, 54-yard touchdown drive. The Als missed the 2-point convert. So they now trail by just 5, and that's when things got really crazy. Under 3 to go now, Montreal down 5. Alexander to Speaker. And it's a big gain, but it's a bigger play by Derek Sluka, who forces the fumble. McFadden recovers. As we take another look, this happens just before the goal line. The Alouettes that close to scoring a touchdown.
Amazing.
But the Argos fumbled on the ensuing drive. And so Montreal has another opportunity. And it's Alexander who takes it himself, runs in. But as you see him run into the end zone, he favors his left leg. Alexander, who just gets back into the lineup, scores the touchdown. Clearly not healthy after Speaker dropped the 2-point convert under a minute to go. Argos only down 1, and Arbuckle is pressured, and it is Ento with the interception. Woo! The Montreal Alouettes take this one. This is just Montreal's 4th win against Toronto since the start of 2022. The Als win the season series with Toronto for the first time since 2019. And Alexander improves to 8-0 to start his career, tied with Danny McManus for the longest such streak in league history. With more, here's Kate Burness and the panel.
Alongside Enoch Mwamba, David Sanchez, Milt Stegall. My goodness, the second half. The second half of that football game was absolutely wild. And for Davis Alexander, he does go down in the CFL history books. He is now 8-0 as a starter. He ties Danny McManus. But the big question after this game is it came at a cost, and was it all worth it, Milt Stegall?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Will he get an opportunity to go 9-0 next week? Probably not. But in the CFL, you can't think about next week. You have to think about now. And I'm sure they didn't think he was going to go in and pull his hamstring. There was a chance, definitely. We talked about it in the first half that he wasn't looking healthy. He wasn't looking like himself, but he was playing well enough. And right now, their only concern was, we got the victory. We'll worry about his hamstring, if he's healthy enough, do we need to put in our backup later on? Right now, this team needed a victory because the momentum was not in their favor as they had lost 2 games in a row. So I'm all for the fact that maybe he wasn't healthy enough to play, but he played and they won the game.
Completely disagree, Milt. I mean, look, you're talking about they need to win now. This is the middle of the season. This is their star quarterback. I disagree. I don't think you can, especially with a hamstring. And the great Hugh Campbell once told me, I had a hamstring injury at Edmonton back in the day, and Hugh was a president at the time. But he said, once you are 100% with a hamstring, take 1 more week. And we all know how hamstrings are, because you can never truly get a sense of your hamstring without that reaction that you can't simulate that in practice because it's a controlled environment. Anyway, continue this. He said in the week entered the game, he said the quote was from Davis Alexander is that he said, I am feeling as good as I could feel at this time of the year. Well, when you're dealing with a hamstring, you got to say, I'm 100%, because a hamstring is not something you can play with. Right. Also, even at halftime, Kate, we talked about the halftime.
Yeah, what he said.
He said, it's not hindering me much. It's different than a shoulder or something else. If your hamstring is hindering you, I don't think you could be out there. I don't like this because this is a Grey Cup. This team has a chance, is on a trajectory to be in the Grey Cup, to represent the East, and now who knows how long their star quarterback's out. I don't like it this time of the season.
And he gives them the best chance when you talk about the play playoff football or Grey Cup football. He has to be on the field, Milt. You got to you protect your quarterback, and sometimes you got to protect him from himself. And at this point, I just thought it was a bad decision. You talked about the fact that they thought that there was a possibility. It's part of his game. He runs all the time.
But if you're a head coach and your star quarterback tells you, I'm ready to go, what are you going to say? No, wait another week?
I'm protecting you from you. There's no way you put the quarterback
You don't hold him
right
back.
now.
If he tells you, I'm healthy enough, I've done enough, I've run enough, I've jumped, whatever it may be, you put him in there.
Enough. We saw him in the first half. He was already running gingerly.
He won the game for him. He was good enough.
He won the game, but at what cost? He's probably going to be out for another month.
We'll see. Let me add this. I hear what you're saying. I hear where you're going. The trust between pro sports, the trust between player and coach, there's got to be an honest dialogue. What percent are you? How does it feel? Is there any chance you tweak it? I know where you're going, right? But I think there's got to be honest dialogue.
I understand what you're saying, but he's a competitor. He's going to say, I want to play.
Yeah, he's going to say he wants to
go. At some point or another, as a coach,
but
you got
to we saw in the first half, too. I mean, he was good, but there was something slightly off. Yeah. We even said it at halftime. But the Montreal Alouettes, they win the football game, and we'd love to chat more football, but we have to go to Winnipeg.
All right, looking forward to that. Now let's hear from Davis Alexander with Matthew Shinetti.
I know you have a lot of things on your mind, given how your body might be feeling. Yeah. What did you learn about yourself as a starting quarterback? What did you learn about this league, and what did you learn about your team tonight?
I mean, I already knew this about myself. You know, I'll never give up. You know, I made a couple of crucial mistakes in the first half, but I also know about my team. They have my back, and I'll have theirs forever. And as long as there's time on the clock, we got a chance to win.
I got to ask you about your next trip to the dentist, because it looks like you'll be going sometime soon. Yeah. What did that require tonight?
I became the ugliest kid in Montreal after tonight. But, I mean, it's just heart, grit. I mean, it's what we're made of. It took a big hit, but I'll never back down from anybody, and I love this team.
How's your leg feeling? When you ran into that touchdown, how did you balance the feeling of feeling so happy, and yet I saw you go for your hamstring right away?
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, it's just something that we're going to have to evaluate and figure out what to do from here. Obviously, I'll be out for a little bit, but right now, I'm going to celebrate the win, celebrate this with my brothers, and we deserve it.
Thanks, Davis. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So there, heard it. Davis Alexander saying he's
already made the call.
He's probably going to be out for a while, with the Alouettes taking on the Stampeders next week. In the meantime, Davis Alexander improves to 8-0 to start his CFL career, moving past Jeff Garcia and Bo Levi Mitchell and into a tie with Danny McManus.
And new on SC, Alouettes head coach Jason Maas.
Jason, I'm sure you went through a bunch of emotions. I know I sure did on the sideline watching the game. What was key in the second half? What was key in the second half, especially offensively? Was it just execution?
I think that's what it comes down to. That's what football is. It's just executing. It's every guy believing in each other, doing their jobs, and continue to believe when you're down. And that sideline continues to believe, and that's what I'm so proud of. A hell of a fight. We knew it was going to be a tough game all the way through. You know, it wasn't the start we wanted, but that's a hell of a finish. That's the way we'd like to end every game.
Yeah, and just yesterday you said the biggest thing that you wanted to see was that for your team to finish, and you guys were able to do that tonight. How pleased are you with that effort?
Couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a complete team effort, all three phases. Again, that sideline believing, everybody believing, the stadium believing, all those good things happening. And just we wanted it and got it, and just couldn't be more proud. It's awesome.
Yeah. Davis Alexander, what can you tell us about his performance?
Unbelievable. I mean, again, probably some things he'd love to have back, particularly in that first half, but that guy just grinds, and he will believe on every single play, and he's 8-0 for a reason as a starter. I mean, the man can play football and does a great job. That whole locker room believes in him, so just an incredible job, an incredible finish. Way to go down fighting.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it.
We've still got 3 more CFL games on TSN this week. Here are the odds, courtesy of FanDuel. The Blue Bombers are 3.5-point favorites against the Stamps on Friday. They'll look to bounce back from a 37-16 loss against Calgary in Week 5. The Riders opened as a slight favorite against the Lions. Week 7 wraps up on Sunday with the Ticats and Red Blacks Hamilton 12-2 in the last 14 head-to-head meetings. The Argos blow an 18-point lead in Montreal. Let's hear now from their head coach, Ryan Dinwiddie.
As exciting as that ending was for a neutral, how did it feel on the sidelines as that lead was chipping away?
Well, we knew we had to score one more touchdown on offense, right? And just didn't get any offense going. They were just playing man coverage, and there's a few throws over there. We're just holding on the ball. Sometimes you just gotta let it go and trust that it's gonna fall incomplete if you don't make a play. Man coverage, not everybody's gonna be butt naked, right? So thought we forced the one into Varis. We had a different deal, but we had too many missed throws, and the turnovers cost us.
I imagine too. Not every game goes down to one play. But that opportunity to DeMonte right at the end of the first half would have allowed you to create more distance.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that would have given. I mean, he would have definitely scored, right? And a guy like DeMonte, Coxie's given a chance to make a play on it. If you underthrow it, he'll probably still come down with it, right? So we set that one up. We had a double stutter. Felt like they would think we're running a stutter comeback, and yeah, that was unfortunate.
On the flip side, now it's your 1-5. Are there positives that you can take from aspects of the game to see the fight that your team had early on, at least?
Yeah, I think there's some positives we can take out. I told these guys we can't let this loss define us, right? We can't let it ruin our season. We're 1-5. We got to play a cleaner football game for a full 60 minutes. But offensively, we did some things. We got to, had a bunch of new linemen in there. We had new tackles, so they were running what we call gap exchange. We weren't setting back on the end, and yeah, it's unfortunate, but there's some things we can take positively, but we got to play a full 60.
What's the mentality you have now going forward? Because this is something as a head coach you're not used to with this organization. What do the next few weeks have to look like?
Yeah, well, we came into this, we said we got, this one's going to be a tough one. Obviously, Winnipeg back-to-back's playing good football, so we said, guys, we got to go 1-0. That's our focal point. But we said we got to at least win 2 of the next 3, right? So now our back's against the wall. We got to find a way to win at home this year, and especially we got to win at Winnipeg too. So we're not out of it yet, but it's starting to I guess build up. We got to get some wins going now. We're going to be out of the race, not even at the finish line.